You know, back when I was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Come cheer up my nights, come cheer up my nights. It's better to have loved and lost. It's better to have loved and lost Captain Jean-Luc Picard than never to have loved at all. The Federation Starship, come cheer up my nights, come cheer up my nights. It's better to have loved and lost Captain Jean-Luc Picard. 17346732147 Charlie 32787777643 Tango 732 Victor 73117887324767897643776 Lock. When I have plucked the rose, she a grey heart, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease. In faith, I do not love thee. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? When I have plucked the rose, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease. In faith, I do not love thee. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? 'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Come cheer up my nights, come cheer up my nights. 'Tis better to have loved and lost.
Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic. No one had a chance to interrupt. It was quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic. No one had a chance to interrupt. It was quite hypnotic.
That's an interesting twist.
And hello, Best Chat. Welcome to another episode of Delicious Boring Nonsense. Yesterday we had a wonderful palette of nonsense, but today is a little change up. Usually on Fridays we have a little bit of change here. We always like to be inclusive, always like to have a nice change going on. And the Fridays, as you know, is usually the trope versus orc sort of day. And today is a special episode, even that special episode, because today we're going over the golden age, or what I would consider the golden age of American TV, American television. You know, the Genny Tartakovsky era, the Rugrats era, the Hey Arnold era, the era of television where they could feel free to explore things and explore themes and ideas and humanity, basically, even in children's cartoons. And it was fantastic. So I hope everyone is doing fantastic today. And I think you're in for a treat if you're ready for a trip down nostalgia lane. So many things, even included, I think, Codename Kids Next Door. I think that's nostalgic enough, I believe. So hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello, Master DX. Welcome. Very loud Whisper Network. It's loud now, and it's fantastic. It's been wonderful ever since that thing was exposed. And there are more articles to come. And if anyone didn't know, if anyone didn't hear, Bleeding Fool, the site that had the person who revealed the Whisper Network, it came under a DDoS attack. The entire site went down for a while. People might have had trouble. In fact, people might have trouble accessing the article soon after the stream. It was someone. It seemed like the Bleeding Full even commented that it was the site came under attack. No, they they went down for a while. It was pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible, but it's back up. It should be back up. And I did. If you look at my Twitter, and I believe in the Discord, someone linked an archive to the article. So even if Bleeding Full goes down, the article won't. And there are more articles on the way, according to the author, the wonderful hero of that first one. There's going to be a whole series filled to the brim with evidence, and all the soy boys and all the King's men are all out there on Twitter trying to spin this thing into nothing. Yeah, being quirky would worked in the past when we didn't actually have evidence out there, but they're gonna have to be really, really quirky to get out of this one. You know what I mean? Hello, Dr. Crow. Hello, Marker in 3D. Hello, Johan. Hello. Matthew J. Nimnall. Hello. Yeah, just to abuse Ellie's tendency to read first comments as he welcomes people to chat. Bologna is just hot dog pancakes. You're welcome. Basically, I guess it's technically true, yeah. You can, and they go well with the same stuff, maybe except for ketchup. I don't know. Ketchup goes well with bologna, actually. Once the service of Satania, not Nazi. You gotta get the Nazis. Hello, Zofrats. Hello. Good morning, DJ Lady D and Best Chat. Is this where the fun begins? This is where the fun begins. So hello, Primal Prize. Morning to you, Primal Prize. Hello, everyone. Let's see here. Nathaniel Abaro. Welp in the morning. Yes, and Welp in the evening. And Welp 2 times in times of peace and 2 times in times of war. Let's see here. Tristan Reinhardt and Heath Ledger's Joker voice. And here we go. Where is Harvey Dent? Yeah. Much better than good old Leto's Joker. Let's see here. Dr. Crow and Andrew Sabina. Hello, Andrew Sabina. Hello, Harry S. Hello, Mayhem Ivory. Hello, Burf. Welcome. Hello, Alexar H. Lobo. Hi, everyone. Says Alexar H. Lobo. Well, hello to you, Best Chat, and hello to you, Alexar H. Lobo. Hello at Well Hung and Dung. This is the part of the stream. Now wrap it up. The best part of the stream is the intro. See, Magic Turtle, the song is fucking fantastic. Yes, it is. I mean, come on. I would say anything with Picard is fantastic, but unfortunately, Star Trek Picard disproved that point. That's no longer true. But old stuff with Picard in it. Picard is awesome. Mainly because Star Trek Picard is not Picard. It's just Patrick Stewart in space. Hello, Light Yagami. Welcome, Light Yagami. Welcome, Insult to the Human Race. Welcome, God of Plague. Welcome, Nova Zero. Hello, Gemini Samimi. Hello there, Ian Olafalin. Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Hello, Nolo Commando. Hello, a spoonful of salt helps nonsense go down. It absolutely does. Salt is delicious. And it's good for you, believe it or not, in healthy doses. Let's see here. Strike Lust. Hello, Ewok. Well, hello, Strike Lust. Hello, everyone. Well, is everyone ready to at least for some people, a little trip down nostalgia lane? But before we get into that, I have a guest waiting for us. There's a guest who decided to grace us with his presence. So let's see who it is.
The hero has to be a monster, but a controlled monster. Batman is like that.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem at all. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a lot of fun today, I think.
Yes, it is. I'm looking forward to it. I think that the castration of the Whimper Network is due for some celebration.
Oh yeah, lots of celebration. I'm off to have a celebration today, in fact, for various reasons. But that'll be one of mine.
Most definitely.
And it's gonna be a lot of fun. Now, of course, there's so many nostalgic shows that of the '90s era of cartoon. Early 2000s, '90s era of cartoon. And
definitely, most definitely.
I've brought up what I could. It's a good amount of content that I have ready. But if anyone would rather go over something else, no problem. Let's give out suggestions, and we can. I'll find something on that real quick, and we can have a look. But for now, I have things like Hey Arnold set up because that's one of my favorites. Was Hey Arnold, and of course I have Samurai Jack, many Genny Tartakovsky stuff, Dexter's Laboratory, Courage Cowardly Dog, things that we talked about last time. And I even have a little video on Megas XLR, which was a very interesting show to me. They could have you ever seen Megas XLR?
I haven't.
Oh, that's an interesting show because it's
Hmm.
basically it's a show that would never ever in a million years be created today. It's a
Ooh,
show
now I'm
about
curious.
it's a show about like this like large gamer guy who and then
Hmm.
on the other side it was this woman was fleeing I forgot what it was actually was, but this woman was fleeing an evil empire or something with a experimental mech suit called the Magus, I think. And she crashed landed on Earth and she had trouble. Like she was being defeated. You can't first of all, that's they cut that off the bat. Woman being defeated can't do that. But here's where it gets really unwoke in the concept. Megas XLR has the big fat gamer guy come in and he's confident. Like he's not self-conscious or anything. He's confident. He's confident as the biggest hero you'll ever meet. And he goes in there, he gets into the XLR and he pilots the thing expertly because he's a gamer. And he's like basically Amuro from Gundam, just really, really awesome with the mech suit. And he's better than the trained pilot, which is the girl who was piloting it in the first place. And she's kind of stuck on Earth, and they kind of become friends. And every time some trouble pops up, the big gamer guy basically just hops back into the robot and handles business. But
Hmm.
he's not a stereotypical nerd either. I think he works in like a junkyard or something. He's like a manly nerd. It's kind of strange. But yeah, going over the concept, they would never ever have Megas XLR as a show today. It's just too many things. It's like the exact opposite of what they want.
Hmm.
Like
Now I'm interested.
the female pilot's like kind of incompetent compared to him, because he basically just played games his whole life. So that's why he's so good at piloting this thing. It's a very interesting show. Very interesting show. And like the female pilot is very beautiful. So his the big gamer guy, his best friend is like always like hitting on her and stuff like that, but she doesn't even take any notice. She's like more interested in him because he's such an awesome pilot. Before we get started, I have a little video to lead us into today. Let's see here. It's Dungeons and Dragons 90s edition
Let's
by
do
the
it.
wonderful, wonderful Man Shorts. Let's see how this one goes. I think this will get us prep us adequately for the nostalgic trip we're about to go on.
Looking forward to it.
What's up?
Already awesome.
Last session, you were deciding what
Like it has a Ninja Turtles mask and a fedora / trilby. So that's already perfect.
to do with your Friday night.
Well, the Hanson concert's a no-go. Tickets are sold out.
You guys want to check out my GeoCities page? I've still got a few hours of internet on that AOL disk.
Oh, that sounds whack. This whole internet thing's a fad anyway. Let's go hit up the Blockbuster.
As you're discussing what to do with the evening, a brilliant flash of light fills the room.
Did you have to use dial-up? Have you had the misfortune of having to use dial-up?
I have not. I have not. Thank the Lord for that.
Yeah, there was a thing with dial-up where it takes up a phone line. So if you had one phone line, you could either have your phone line open or use the internet. So some people got two phone lines, one for internet, one for calls and things.
Jesus.
And it took forever to load the internet. So now today you just tap the little browser and it pops right up, and you can leave the internet on all day. But back in the day, during the dial-up era, the dark ages of internet, you had to, if you only had one phone line, you had to quickly do your internet business and then get off so people can actually use the phone. And it took a while. It took a few minutes to actually get the internet open, and then you had to go to like AOL or MS. I think it was like MSN or something. And it was everything was very basic. Like maybe if you saw a 90s website today, you would think it would just pump you full of viruses. Everything just looked shady. You just had the shady look to them. But listen, we have another guest. Before we get too far,
Let's do it. I guess this is where the fun begins.
Is this where the fun begins?
This is where the fun begins.
Wait, so what happens?
Oh, what do you mean, dial-up?
Like,
It's talking about
no,
dial-up.
like I remember.
I think he's curious
clicking
about
on
the
the
article
link.
we were referring to.
No, I was like I don't know what happened because I remember clicking on the link to go to StreamYards, and then I just got Zofrats messaging me. It's like you didn't even hear that you're on stream. It's like wait, I'm on stream. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, you went on stream out of nowhere. But you're on stream now. You're on stream now. So it's all
Perfect.
settled. It's all settled.
The social
Okay.
construct has returned, chat family. He's
Uh,
here.
I don't know if Shiny has knows about the episodes or the shows that we're about to go over. Hey Arnold and that sort of thing. I think they're American TV shows, so I guess you can give a outside perspective of how they went or how you think they might be. Because the videos I've chosen are like retrospectives and stuff. Actually, just kind of summarizing the concepts of these shows.
Mm.
And see, John Doe, if you want to know what it's like on dial-up, go on Second Life and go to an area with loads of custom content. It's like being in the GeoCities site on dial-up. Yeah, dial-up. You know the internet speed that I have. Anyway,
The walls shake, and there's a loud explosion. Everyone roll a reflex save.
Eight.
13.
17 plus 2 from my slap bracelet of dexterity.
Nice. Waylon, you
Slap
and Lance
bracelets.
are knocked to the floor, take 6 damage. Sarah, when the smoke clears, you can see that there's a man standing in the middle of the room.
Hey, how did you get in my house?
The man looks panicked. Oh my god. Did it work? What year is it?
It's 1997. Duh. Who are you?
The man remains silent. He begins walking around the room with his eyes wide, smiling.
This guy's bugging. I'm gonna make a sense motive check. 15.
You're not sure of his intentions, but you can tell that he's very excited. It also seems that he's not from here.
I rolled a 16 on my grapple. I want to grab him and get his attention.
The man avoids your lunge and steps back. He pulls a handgun and points it at Sarah.
Oh my gosh, please don't kill me. I have to feed my Tamagotchi in like half an hour.
a Tamagotchi.
Just who?
I knew there's a Tamagotchi, but remember the Digimon, the little Digimon. It's like a Tamagotchi, but you can battle those things. I remember that becoming a thing. The Digimon, the little Digimon devices, not the show, but the devices. I think when it was coming out, I think like a lot of girls got Tamagotchis and guys got the Digimon because you could fight those things. It was a lot of fun. So I remember those. So they bring out those, it'd be fantastic. Like, you get
Funny you say that because I had a Tamagotchi.
I know those were very famous. I don't think Digimon devices anyway were as popular as the Tamagotchi. I never had one of those, but it's just like basically just a pet. I mean, the Digimon, the Digivice things, they were a pet that you could battle. And that's the
Well, yeah,
that's kind
because
of
it was like it was I guess that is a good way of putting it. Yeah, they tried to do something similar with the Mega Man Battle Network toys, but those never sold quite as well.
Yeah, they really tried on that one too. The Battle Network. They really
No, they did.
tried.
They were actually well put together. It's just
Yeah.
that it was it had an entry barrier where it was a little complicated to get it started, so a lot of kids just stopped using them.
Yeah, you have to make it simple. With Digimon, all you have to do is pull a little tab and it just turns on until it dies
Yeah.
forever. And I know I kept getting the poop monster thing, so I kept feeding it too much or something. I was in the mentality of, hey, I just keep feeding it. Obviously, if I get to 200 pounds, it's going to be unsolvable. That wasn't the case, though. That wasn't.
You
The
just got
case.
diabetes.
Basically, it turned into a literal poop monster. So it was just a sludge thing that threw poop as an attack. That's what you got. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see what. So obviously, I think it's kind of obvious that who they encounter is a time traveler, maybe like a Marty McFly type. So let's see what happens. I think they're going to attack.
Something's gonna be done about your kids. It's gonna be done about Star Wars.
Come on, Marty. Come on, Morty.
Who the hell do you think you are?
The name's Frank. I'm from the year 2017.
Hey, Frank, home slice. Yeah, take it easy. We can talk about this.
I don't think so, pal. Now, I didn't want to resort to this, but holy shit, is that your laptop?
Yeah, it's pretty slamming, right?
Goodbye.
Mom's on the phone again.
Wow.
There it is. Yeah.
Now, as I was
He just got kicked off the internet because someone's using the phone. That's dial-up.
saying, I'm from the future.
Whatever. As if. Time travel isn't real.
Oh, it's real, sister, and I'm gonna make a boatload of cash. Here, start filling up these bags. The man hands you each a tote bag.
Dude, I only have like 20, and that's for the pizza guy.
I don't want your money, I want your stuff. Now start filling up these bags. Start with the laptop. And I believe you said something about a Tamagotchi.
All I have is some gum and my Pokemon cards.
Do you have any first edition holographics?
No. Psych! I've got them all.
Sweet. Put them in there.
All right, all I've got is a Game Boy Color, my Discman, a boombox, a couple of koosh balls, and some GAC.
Jeez,
Gak.
dude, how do you have all that stuff on you?
Oh, well, I'm wearing my Jinko jeans of holding.
That totally
Jinko
makes
jeans.
sense.
I'm going to use a free action to activate my Yomega Fireball of Concussion.
Roll your attack.
22.
Your yo-yo whips across the room and strikes Frank in the temple. He and the gun fall safely to the floor. He's unconscious.
Give me back my stuff, biatch!
Guys, let's hold him hostage and make him take us back to the future.
Dear God.
You don't want that. You want to do that.
You've got mail.
I've got mail.
See you next time, kids.
It's D&D.
That'd be a bad idea. Stay in the 90s. Stay in the 90s.
I'd like to actually hear a little more about what occurred with that article that we read yesterday before we get going.
What you mean, like people on Twitter going fucking nuts and apparently DDoSing attacked the website?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yes.
Bleeding Pool actually came out with a message that said, "Yeah, they're
So,
experiencing some sort of attack on their website."
Have you already showed the tweet?
Yeah, no, not yet, not yet.
Oh,
I can look
do,
at
do,
it.
do you want to go over it now?
I can look.
Yeah,
for
let's do it. Let's get started. That way it'll give us some cause for celebration.
it. Yeah. Oh, let's see here. I think it's somewhere down the line here.
I can read it out. So, one, it was by Chris Sotomayor. One, it is a whisper network of the moderators of the group that openly discussion on convention panels. Two, do you expect people in the industry not to talk about shitty people in the industry? Three, if you feel attacked by a whisper network, the problem is with you or the network.
Yeah,
And it's like, yeah,
you're guilty. You're guilty.
So no kind of due process at all. It's like it's not a moderator network by any means. The discussion, okay, so the way he's saying it, it's either but 1.1 and 0.2, like they completely go against what they're saying. So like one, the idea that they say yes, it's a network of moderators, and then it goes to two. It's like they're not talking. They're talking about shitty people. But then again, there's either fuck. I've already sorry, the English is failing me right now. Gossiping, it shouldn't be happening in moderator groups. And what we saw was definitely not a moderator group, especially the way they were talking about people and trying to get people cancelled. That is not a moderator group.
Yeah,
No, it is
talking about
not.
committing literal crimes. If they carried out some of those things we're talking about, those are that's committing crimes. Those are crimes that they're talking about making or doing.
Hey,
And it looks like
I
they're
heard
probably
this
going to
person,
panic and make some
got a
bad
comic
public
book.
statements for themselves.
It's like I heard this person got a comic book. So if anyone knows any more about this, I would like to get them cancelled.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
I'm gonna I use my connections at Simon and Schuster so that they'll stop distribution and cancel their contract with Richard Meyer.
Mm.
It's tortious interference. Okay, if you are considered like a third party, like if it's, I think you have a better case if you're not included at all. But if you are considered a competitor, if you could be considered by a competitor by a reasonable person, then you have you commit tortious interference if you interfere with the contract dealings of someone else, directly. So that's why Mark Waid is in so much hot water, because he is also a comic book creator who personally made a call to Antarctic Press. He personally made a call to Antarctic Press so that to defame Richard Meyer with the intent of having Antarctic Press discontinue their partnership with Richard Meyer, and that's what happened. That's why it's tortious interference, because he's also in the same industry, so he could be considered a competitor. Is he John Lemley? Thinks the 250. Simon Schuster is a social construct. I guess so. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that.
You certainly can.
Tyler Preston, CW's Batwoman has evolved into a new level of woke by replacing Ruby Rose, a white woman, with a black actress. Yeah, I just it was kind of funny because while Ruby Rose is not a redhead, the persona is. Batwoman she wears a red wig. Okay, of course they're going to replace her with a black person.
Yeah.
They always do that. If it's a redhead, they get replaced by a black person. That's kind of the law now in Hollywood.
Why? Is there another circumstance where they specifically did that?
Oh yeah, several, a great many of them.
Starfire,
Jimmy Olsen. I mean, name any redhead, pretty much.
John Lemley, welcome to the Legion.
John Lemley, welcome, newest member, John Lemley, welcome. Hope you enjoy those custom emojis and things. Had a lot of fun. To John Doe, Arcata was distracted by the Supreme Court ruling on tax records and boring yesterday. Also, they made half of Oklahoma back into a reservation. Wow. Half of Oklahoma. That's a lot. Okay, so I think if Nick Rekieta is going to have another stream, I think I might watch that one and then super chat and say, hey, check this out.
I was thinking of doing that, but I held off on it just in case somebody else wanted to do it, or just in case he'd already seen the tweet. I didn't want to put him on the spot because he was already covering other material.
Yeah, if he does it's less than a 20, then he will wait till the end of the show to read it usually. So just do it less than 20, and then he'll just read to the end of the show. And I think
that's what I'll do then. That's what I'll do.
That's what I plan to do. Just hey, cover the Whisper Network.
Well, now I have 2 super chats I'd like to do. If I can just get this first one through. We'll see if Google lets me. There it is.
It'd be fantastic.
It's been something I've been holding off on, but I've heard that Devil needs a new computer.
Well, I didn't even know you could do that.
Apparently you can.
Well, thank you very much, Agent Yokai Zero. That's very much appreciated.
Jeez, man.
Wow.
How fucking money do you have?
I've been saving it for a long time.
Okay. Well, maybe you want to spend it on. I mean, I'm sure Lich Devil doesn't mind the money, but it's like.
It's for specific reasons. It's because, one, I'm celebrating because I think that we've worked very hard for something that we just saw yesterday, and 2, I know he needs a new computer because of everything going on with his internet. I want to feel like I'm supporting this cause.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. That's fantastic. That's amazing.
You can go ahead and read it.
Let's see here. The Whisper Network, the Whimper Network.
The Whimper Network.
Yeah, Whimper Network will know how castration feels, chat family. They will never ruin another man. They will never tarnish another family. They will never cause another suicide. This time, they will know what it means to be accused. But as Lieutenant James Gordon once said, we must do it by the book. He said that in The Killing Joke. I think he said that in The Killing Joke also. It's like, Batman, you have to do it by the book, or else he wins. It'll take time, money, and resources. Yeah, I mean, this is a huge. I mean, there's a lot of people in Comicsgate who mentioned it. It's like, oh yeah, we already knew what was going on. What's the big deal? No, this is a big deal because we knew evidence. Yeah, we never had evidence this big before. So this is huge. I mean, you can go around saying the Illuminati exists all day long, but when something comes out that has evidence, like, look, Illuminati does exist. Here's evidence and proof of people talking about it. And here's a list.
They can't hide. There's no excuses.
Yeah, there's no more way to hide anymore. It's like someone actually came up with a list of verifiable members of the Illuminati. That's how big this is.
Yeah.
And going by and looking at things, looking at stories that we've heard before, it coincides perfectly with how these people operate. They operate through fear. We've seen like the rustling leaves of this. We've seen the wind blowing. Okay, we've seen people do this, and
Or a Master DX, the bat producer. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. But in all seriousness, it's not for that. It's because, well, all right, I'm only human. Perhaps it's partially because of that, but more so, it's because I think that, like Alex Star H Lobo was saying, for God damn it, Yokai, use the money. Here's the thing: I already have my equipment. I finished purchasing all my laptop, computer gadgets, my headphones. I have everything that I need to attend these streams, and my story isn't going to be done for a long time. So I feel like since Devil's already set up his foundation, I feel like it would be more useful for him than it would be for me at the moment. That's just honestly how I feel. I feel like you would use it for more specific things than I would, because I'm still just getting started and learning, and it's mainly because of something very specific that I heard Naval Ravikant say. It was his philosophy about apprenticeships, and he said that anything for free is overpriced because you won't take it seriously enough. The bigger of a sacrifice you make, the more likely you are to succeed.
It's true. It takes sacrifice. It takes hard work to get where you are. That's the main thing that SJWs don't really know, or anything like that.
Well,
That's
what is it?
They can't get is that they want to be like these top producers. They want to be famous for writing, Iron Man and stuff. But they don't not willing to put in the work to get there. It's like their parents told them you can be anything you want. It's just that they never learned that it takes work to get there, and now they resent it.
And the thing is, so I want to make sure that I'm marking 3D Agent OK Zero kills Bruce Wayne. Let's not go overboard. But here's the thing: wow, this is fun. I'm having a great time. Okay, but no, it's I want Rekieta to see that article. I want to see these people pay for what they've done, and I want to see channels like this one that expose that bullshit succeed.
Yeah,
it has to succeed.
It
absolutely has to succeed.
This is a huge victory, regardless. I mean, this is a huge.
I see this as an absolute win.
An absolute win. An absolute win.
But also, I was hoping this would be the first of Literature Devil's new computer fund.
Oh, it certainly is.
I have one request. When you get a new computer, I would like for you to refer to it as the Bat Computer.
No problem. I'll do that. I'm gonna put a Batman sticker on there.
Let the celebration begin.
Just get a computer that Before I remember I think you said you got a laptop. Don't get a laptop. Get an actual desktop for actual streaming.
Oh yeah, I already have one picked out. I did a lot of research on it, so it's gonna be a desktop.
Don't get one. No. I wouldn't recommend getting one readily made because it's going to cost you more than what's actually there. I would recommend building it yourself.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, I'm someone who built my own computer, and I'm really fucking happy with it. It's like, especially for the price that I paid.
Yeah,
Burf, don't forget Agent Yokai Zero, justice, not vengeance. That's why I said we'll do it by the book. Because we're different from them. We're not like them. Their way doesn't work.
We don't have a whisper network where we're going to cancel people behind the scenes. We're going to fucking pull them out of the shadows screaming.
We have a reality network. We're going to give them a reality check, chat.
It must be justice. It must be justice.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So thank you very much for that, Agent Yokai Zero. I'm very appreciative, and I will do that. I will put that towards a new computer fund.
But towards new Bat PC.
Bat PC. Yeah, the Bat PC.
Not the Bat computer, just the Bat PC. It's
the Bat PC. The supercomputer. The Bat supercomputer. Let's see. We have John Brimley, thank you for 5. Batwoman's red hair is social construct designed to discriminate non-Caucasian POCs.
What you use with the Bat computer, you'll just use it as like Alexa. Alexa, call me Batman.
Your dollars are no match for the Hungarian huffs. Thank you very much, Mark in 3D, for the 400 huffs of internet gas.
Let's see here. John Lemley, thank you for 250. Money ain't real. Time ain't real. Kanye West. Kanye West. Now that's a guy to listen to. That's a guy to listen to. He's much better than I don't know, Jack Saint or somebody. Let's see, Nova Zero. Thank you much for 10. Dude, that was like jihadi training where you only show the junior bloods how to do it, but can you only show them once? Pace yourself, man. Celebrate with some firewater and the lawman. Firewater is good. Firewater is good. See, Matthew J. No, yeah, pretty much nice gesture, but over $150 goes straight to Google. I mean, yeah, that's technically true. That's technically true, but I'm grateful nonetheless. So thank you very much for that. If you know Kai Zero,
Now I know for next time.
Oh, I still get most of it.
Next time, go through PayPal.
I still
will.
I still got most of it, and it's very good. It's very good. You get to do a message also, and it's I'm gonna make you the producer for the next few streams, obviously.
It's not about that. It's not about that.
But I think well, you deserve that at least. That's fantastic. So very much appreciated. Very much appreciated.
He's the producer that fuck, I was gonna say something bad, never mind.
I know what you're gonna say. No, you're gonna say that he's not the producer. He's the producer we deserve, not the producer we need. Get the fuck out of here.
He's the producer we need right now, but not the one we deserve.
I always get it backwards. Jesus God.
Let's see, Harry S. I think Batwoman should have followed Kate Kane, a spoiled heiress sent to stay with her cousin Bruce Wayne, that she has no idea what she's in for when she arrives. Now, that sounds good to me, because if she was a spoiled, self-centered brat, and then she went through a character arc where Bruce Wayne, she learns out, she finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and she goes, "Oh, my cousin or whatever, he's actually selfless. Maybe I should be more selfless also." That's a really good character arc.
Instead, you get the selfish brat, and there's no character development there.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal all of Batman's technology. I'm going to steal his fucking bat suit. I'm going to go out there dressed as Batman. But when people think I'm Batman, oh well, I'm not going to let a man take a credit for a woman's job.
He's like, you look at me.
You fucking stole his equipment.
Hold on. I'd like to say something to Lenny the Shark. So I was actually specifically thinking about Lenny the Shark when I made this decision too. I was hoping I was worried he was going to worry about it. I have something to say about this. Wow, this puts my last Doki Doki Literature Club Super Chat to shame. Well, all right, Lenny. If there was not a Super Saiyan 1, then there'd never be a Super Saiyan 2 and 3 and 4. You were the one that paved the path to success, so to speak.
Yeah.
What?
At least that's how I feel about it. Remember when he did his giant $200 super chat during
at the very end of Doki Doki Literature Club stream, at the very last one when I finished the game, Lenny the Shark very generously super chat $200, and this blew my mind. He instantly became my video game producer.
Yeah.
Lenny the Shark, thank you for the 5.
I need to get my streams going and get 1,000 subscribers. Maybe people will give me fucking hundreds of pounds.
Shiny, I would be happy to give you hundreds of dollars if there was a super chat button.
But there is no super chat button. Look, fucking YouTube. It's like, how dare you fucking bar it off to 1,000 subscribers?
How dare you? You have to get 1,000 subscribers, and I think
1,000 hours of watch time.
Yeah, something like that. It's like 3,000 hours of watch time.
Bastards.
Something like that. They upped it. They upped the standards.
So I can go check right now what the standards are. I'm going to be far away from it. But
well, you have the competence. You just need the patience. But
yeah, it took me a year. Okay, it took me a year of getting almost no attention before I started. So it takes a while.
You need 4,000 hours of watch time. I've got about 355. So
yeah, it took me a year, Shiny, of almost nothing.
I understand it. I've got to start actually doing more stuff.
Anytime I see an opportunity to give my support, I intend to use it. Because I want to be serious about it.
Will Hung and Dung, thank you much for the 2. Add this to your $500 super chat. You're welcome. Well, thank you very much, Will Hung and Dung. Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
I know someone just say, yeah, do more live stream. Problem is, I don't know what to do live streams on. We need the subjects.
Let's see here.
You see, Lenny, look at how much you've started. Look at what you started this, Lenny. you started this, Lenny.
It's all your fault. It's all your fault.
You've ruined Star Wars.
Let's see, Market 3D for the 400 huffs of internet gas. Your dollars are no match for the Hungarian huffs. I'm gonna need the huffs too. Let's see here. I think we have this one. John Lemley, thank you for the 5. It's not about money. It's not about money. It's about sending a message. Agent Yokai Zero, probably.
It's about sending a message, Chad. What was he
Okay.
referencing?
That's Dark Knight, where Joker has a big pile of money and he's drenching it in fire. He's like, it's not about money. It's about sending a message, and he just lights it all on fire.
You could say it's about sending a message. Yeah.
And see, Market 3D says Shiny can live stream Star Wars and then get immediately destroyed.
Yeah,
Other
like,
bots.
so the problem is that we need something to cover on Star Wars. So the first one was about Star Wars Clone Wars behind the scenes. Second one was about attempting to watch behind the scenes of The Last Jedi, and then we had to turn that into a video.
Go the EFAP route, stream for half a day, or you can do the Crow route, stream for a whole day.
I can have a whole 10, 20 people watch me for 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while. I mean, I don't think EFAP started off as that big.
I know,
grew
I
over
know.
time.
Welcome,
go
Adam Post. Good to see you.
Stream for half a day. Yeah, just stream for half a day. No
No, it's probably no, I'm not saying, oh, it's me, I've got a tiny channel. I'm more just taking the piss for comedy reasons.
Now, you know what it is? You know what it is? DJM Voices, Google, I'm only burning my house. Okay, here's what it is. The Google portion is the Joker burning it, sending a message.
Yeah.
Then the devil that the portion that the devil receives, that's the Dark Knight portion that's being
only-
put towards production of Gotham.
Relax. I'm only burning my half. I ordered the fire not to burn the other half. Okay. Here's that tweet that Shiny wanted to go over. One of my bleeding fool. So that says our website is currently experiencing massive internet attack, perhaps by those who don't want what we've uncovered to be dragged into light. Yeah, that's probably it. They don't want to. They are scared right now. They're trying not to seem like they're scared. They're trying to laugh it off publicly, but they are. This blew their mind. They didn't know this would ever happen. As we work this out, keep an eye out on who is out of the shadows today, laughing off the hippopocalypse or something like that. I think it'd be a lot better of hippopocalypse, considering who's involved. But yeah, you said hashtag you can't stop what's coming. Oh, I love that so much. Thank you very much, Bleeding Fool. Heroes, they're heroes. And here's the article they relinked to. And here's me, by the way. Here's the link to the archive that I put there. So just in case the website goes down, here's a link to the archive that they can't take down. So
Perfection.
Just making sure that even
Let me retweet that. Hold on, let me retweet that. You said that's on your your Twitter account.
Yeah, it's underneath the Bleeding Fool tweet that they have here, admitting to that or telling us that they're coming under brutal internet attack.
Yes, yesterday reading that was so fucking juicy.
It was great. It was fantastic, and it's a lot.
I could almost hear them crying in the distance.
Me too.
It's almost like 1,000 souls. Oh no, sorry, 433 souls just started
cried out
panicking
in anger, and were suddenly silenced.
and suddenly ran off as the light surely shone on them.
Yeah, and I tweeted Gail Simone. Gail Simone even.
They're going to need to be really quirky to get out of this one.
Yeah,
I like that.
They always act quirky, quote unquote, hashtag quirky TM, whenever they encounter this sort of stuff. But now they can be really quirky to get out of this one. They're going to have to be. They're going to come. They have to crank that quirk up to 11
Yes.
in order to get out of this one. Because now we have evidence. Now we have actual words that they've said and admissions that they've admitted to. So this is wonderful stuff. And if we could get Nick Rekieta to cover it, I think they'll give enough traction where they're going to be really scared, because he has a really big audience and he has a lot of connection. He's been in the news articles, so people know about Nick Rekieta. He's a significant figure, and he's outside of the comic book, little bubble. So that'd be really scary for them if we can somehow get Nick Rekieta to cover it. Instant Simulation, Language 5. Lee D, make sure Agent Yokai Zero gets a spot in the first circle. You get a spot in Purgatory, the best one.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
First Circle of Hell. It's nice up there.
Oh, yeah. We've had a few drinks there before. I've never had a room there before, though. I'll be enjoying my stay.
Purgatory is where I believe, that Purgatory area, First Circle. It's kind of like in between those. It's kind of like
Yeah, it's a little less hot up there.
Yeah, I think in Inferno, the first circle was basically just purgatory, or at least it was close to purgatory. And so
we're going uptown. I've made
basically
it to purgatory, Chad.
This is an area where you kind of hang out, and then once you go, the lower you go, the worse it gets.
Mm.
That's because that's where he meets Virgil and everything. So, and it's just like a bunch of that's where he talks about all the unborn babies. So,
and what level is Jack Saint on?
He doesn't get into hell. He doesn't deserve it. He's too. he gets a secret
He
basement
passes
of
on
hell.
to the next guy. Like it's like the look. Hey, movie devil. Like I don't want this guy. Do you want him?
Yeah, nope. We don't want. No one wants Jack Saint.
Hey, comic devil. You're okay there? You want the Jack Saint?
He wants he goes to subjective
Keep
hell.
passing on.
He doesn't get into objective hell. He gets to subjective hell. You know what? Toss him
Is
into
that worse?
Toss him into objective hell. Just toss him into objective hell.
Yeah, objective would be his hell. What subjective would be
Yeah.
like good for him. He would enjoy that.
Yeah, objectivity Jack Saint is like salt to a slug. Let's see here. So what's the first thing we have here? Oh yeah. So is anyone familiar with Dexter's Laboratory?
No.
Okay. So AG Zero, have you ever seen Dexter's Laboratory?
Of course, I've seen Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, fantastic! It's like I think it was the premiere Genndy Tartakovsky show. It was the one he was known for. Genndy Tartakovsky, one of the most brilliant. He's kind of one of the main forces behind 90s nostalgia. Let's see here. Sketch Therapy. Welcome to Sketch Therapy. And thank you much for the 25. It's fantastic. That's very generous. For the computer chat, also check your DMs. Oh, I certainly will. I think maybe Sketch might want to join this. I know he was into anime last time, or at least Gundam anyway. But thank you very much for that. Sketch Therapy. Very much. All this is very humbling, actually. I'm not easily humbled. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's their sketch. Their sketch. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So I'm just gonna invite Sketch anyway, just in case he wants to come in. Just in case. Yeah, it's me, Sketch. Okay, fantastic. There you are. I see you, Sketch. Awesome. I'll see about. I don't know if I should follow you or not. I don't want you to be outed. I don't want your new account to be outed or not. But I'll read it later. I'll go through the whole thing later. Sketch,
John Lemley. We're all waiting for Ed Netty, my friend. We're all waiting for Ed Netty.
Computer fun typo. Oh, thank you much for that. Sketch Therapy. Awesome. Appreciate it. Let's see here. John Lemley, thank you for 5. Dexter's Lab is on HBO Max. Well, that's actually a pretty good investment there. I'm still waiting for Ed and Eddie and Bill and Mandy. Oh yeah, Billy and Mandy. That was a good one also. To be there too. But did you ever see Billy and Mandy?
Yes.
Also,
yes.
welcome Sketch.
Yeah. That was the
How you
one
guys
with
doing?
the.
Oh, I'm doing.
How you doing, Sketch?
I heard you guys were talking about these crazy fuckwits.
Oh yeah,
That's my word.
Yeah.
I love that word.
No, you can't have it. That's a cultural appropriation.
Then you gotta say it. I want to hear it from you. Then what
Fuck
are they?
it.
Yeah.
Rocket
I fucking love it.
Rocket Sailors for $9.99. Gendy's best work was Primal, brutal, cool show. That one I wanted to see, but I haven't had a chance to watch it just yet. But Genndy Tartakovsky, what I've heard, he still has it. Yeah, we were going over those the Weirdo Whisper Network, and it was glorious how they're reacting to it. All the soy boys and all the King's men,
Yeah. I
just
suspect
the
more
King's Men,
Whisper
but the
networks
King's
will
King's
appear.
Children.
Oh yeah, I mean the article, the Bleeding Fool article, even said that there's more articles to come. That wasn't the end all be all. There's more. It's a series.
No, that
of
was just the
articles.
first article. He's going to make, from what I understand, she's making an article about each of the main members.
Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be great. We're gonna cover each and every one of them.
Each and every one, because this is about spreading a message.
Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. Let's see.
You know what, Hatch? If you match the highest donation today, I'll unblock you.
Let's see. As for OSX and which was who had Sketch your fake and you know it. Oh, you unblock me.
Wait, what?
No, I'm not gonna unblock you. He's leaving like comments telling me what to do, who to like, who to not like. I'm like, this is freedom of association, and I choose to disassociate from you. Now we do, avoid block bots. We don't like to block a lot of people in general. But if I didn't like our interaction and I'm blocking you, so what? That's part of our freedom.
That's it anyway.
Exactly. I don't know.
Anyway, so Dick, here's a little overview of Dexter's Laboratory called The Genius of Dexter's Laboratory. Now, it's a pretty good show. And this is what, I'm not sure if it'll go into this because I haven't watched this video yet. But the thing about this is Gennady Tartakovsky modeled Dexter after himself, actually. And the reason why Dexter has that little Russian accent is because that's what Gennady Tartakovsky kind of felt like when he first came over to America. He still had that accent, and so he just wanted to make Dexter kind of like his kind of stand-in, kind of like how George Lucas kind of made Luke Skywalker his stand-in. But the thing is, they're not Mary Sue's. Yeah, Dexter, he's incredibly smart. He has all these. He can make things, make a whole laboratory to ludicrous degrees. It's all kinds of weird things are in there. But the thing is, he also has a lot of flaws. He has a big ego. His sister basically always wins and beats him at everything. I think he rarely ever gets one over Dee Dee. I think he does sometimes.
Well, it's more that she annoys him and hinders his experiments.
Yeah, pretty much. And
she runs into the laboratory, pushing all the buttons, destroying his lab. It's even in the intro.
But it's a very good show.
Dee, for God's sake!
It was a very good show, and the movie Dexter Laboratory was called Ego Trip because it is played on his ego. The whole movie was about basically his ego and how it worked against him, how that's his tragic flaw. He thought he was supposed to be the hero, and it turns out, well, Dee's the hero. John Lindley, thanks for the 5. Sketch Therapy, I think I know you from another channel you watch. Yeah, Sketch Therapy, I think he's been on Dan Frega's channel. And
yeah. Well, I started going on World Class Bullshitters. I was, I think my first stream was with them and Cecil. I used to make shows there for the Fandom Menace, trying to get Fandom Menace and Comicsgate together. You got to realize a lot of these people also don't want these communities to unite because they have sort of the same goals. Yeah. So I used to make shows over there. I've also been on Dan Fraga's channel. You can also catch me a couple of times on Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I think I've been on John Malin's channel for the Jack Show. You know, it's a lot of shows that I've been on, but I've more about bringing people together. When I first approached Literature Devil, I wasn't even about me being on. I was about bringing a person that knows about the lore, more about the lore than me, because I love this stuff. But that didn't work out, and I'm very sorry about that. I didn't give you guys the Gundam show I wanted to give you, and I want to apologize for that sincerely, not in a jokey way. But I love bringing people together. I love watching shows like this where a lot of people come together. I love it, like when you go on someone else's channel or that, crossovers. Oh my God, I love that. It's like when they cross the streams and Ghostbusters against these giant fucking SJW marshmallows. That's the best.
Yeah, marshmallows is the best description you could possibly come up with.
Yeah,
with Adam Friended last night. Adam Friended and I think
I love that guy.
Not the nice marshmallows, the kind of ones which are kind of stale. They've once they've been in the back of the cupboard for quite a while and they've gone rock hard to the point where you could like throw it at something and it'll break the wall.
Exactly.
The kind that tried to destroy New York and Ghostbusters. Bad marshmallows. Bad marshmallow. You're right. They're very bad.
Hashtag not all marshmallows want to destroy New York.
Exactly.
Lane the Shark, which is 5. I want to see the pencil disappear. I want to see the pencil disappear, Agent Yokai Zero. Come close.
See a magic trick.
You want to see a magic trick? See a #5006. Number 2. Sorry for interrupting, LD. He's a hypocrite. Okay. Well, no problem. No problem. You have your own opinions. I have no idea what's going on.
I do have something to say about that. We all have the same enemies here. We should be working together to fight those enemies.
Look, anyway, even if you do have any kind of beef, we're not part of it. You can disagree between yourselves as much as you want. We're not getting involved. It's your
freedom, baby. That's it. Nano machine, son. That's it. After 702, thank you much for the 5. The Whisper Network is afraid of us. Dumb. Yeah.
big dumb fanboys.
It's funny because it's true. The Whisper Network is afraid of us, big dumb fanboys achieving success in comic book, TV shows, etc. That's exactly what I've said. That their biggest fear is people's biggest fear is for someone from like the Comicsgate area. independent creator, someone that can't control, to gain traction in the mainstream. So, for example, if Cyberfrog gets mainstream, gets made into like a blockbuster movie, they are going to lose their minds. That is a nightmare scenario, because if you look at it, every single thing that becomes popular in the media, they want to get their hands in. So they start, oh look, that looks like a nice property that's popular today.
Left-wing activists, they say, nice hobby that you have. It's a little bit sexist, don't you think? Maybe you better let us in to fix it. Bitch, it wasn't made for you.
Never gets old.
Superhero you have over there. Shame if something was to happen to it.
It's a nice Watchmen series you have over there. It's a little racist, don't you think? It likes cops a little bit too much, don't you think? They want to control everything. So if they have and of course they know these people. They know these soy boys are running the show. So they just say, they apply the smallest bit of pressure and they fold instantly, like a toothpick, and that's it. They just fold instantly. But if someone like Ethan Van Sciver makes it to the mainstream, he won't bend the knee to the social justice warriors. And
Nerdstalgic. This is Nerdstalgic. I've seen his videos before.
He's nostalgic. He has a good
I loved
series
his video on Ed and Eddie, to be honest.
Cool.
Yeah, but so I guess
he does an oddly professional job of talking about children's cartoons.
Awesome. Well, that's good. That's fortunate, because I haven't seen this video yet, but I'm glad to hear that. And see, for $9.99. Honestly, screw the mainstream. Bring back niche. Yeah, I mean, niche is where it's at. However, if we start taking over the mainstream, then we push the SJWs out and they lose. I think that was the.
We need to create a new foundation. It isn't so much about niches. Niches are the second step. The first step is about building the new foundation upon which those niches could exist.
Pretty much. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna make this one change real quick. Got this here. There we go. Produced by
had a little bit of a crossover throwing in the great. Who was it? Who was the last one? Matt Burton?
Yeah, it was Matt Burton.
Yeah, it did a little bit of a Matt Burton. Did it keep his name there? Is that why? And then you replaced the name?
I made a new one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's check out Dexter's Laboratory. And I picked a retrospective. I consciously picked a retrospective so that if you haven't seen the show, usually retrospectives go over the show and summarize it and things too. So even if you haven't seen the show, you shouldn't feel too left out.
I kind of remember Eddie and Dexter's Lab, but I wasn't like super into it. I just watched it once in a while because I was a little older when those came out.
Yeah, usually
his video format is kind of similar to the way Totally Not Mark talks about Dragon Ball, where you can actually appreciate Dragon Ball because of how professionally he speaks about it, without you needing to have seen the show before.
That's nice. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Nerdstalgic is pretty good.
Let's check it out. He was to say about Dexter's Laboratory.
Into a single medium as Dexter's Lab was for televised animation. Think that's conjecture? If I take away Dexter from this picture, well, you might also be saying goodbye to Timmy, Danny, Jenny, Jack, Bubbles, and maybe an entire network. Dexter's Lab was so much more than a manic piece of animation about an adolescent scientist. It was a breakthrough moment for a network and a creator who would go on to create works that literally reshaped the way we would view animation. This is a story of one experiment gone right and everything that came after.
Which YouTube channel is this?
Nerdstalgic.
Nostalgic, that's it.
He sounds like another YouTuber. I can't remember his name either. Someone probably know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Hopefully the chat can help you out because I'm not familiar.
To me. But the thing that the clip of Dexter's Laboratory just to show you how crazy Dexter's Laboratory got, was he turned himself into a slug because he and Dee Dee were fighting. And it was like a monster battle. It was like one of those video games at the time. That's what they were doing, and they even played it like a video game sometimes. But yeah, they keep taking like little potion things, and they kept making themselves scarier and scarier monsters. And Dee Dee became like this giant scary monster with the blades and stuff. And then Dexter's like, I could play that game too. So he drank his, and he turned into like a little puny slug. And he's like, oh,
yeah.
This isn't gonna help.
I found who's reminding me of. He's reminding me of Clean Prince Gaming. That's it.
Okay, I haven't heard of that guy, but this looks good so far. Let's see here. John Lemley, thank you for the 5. Nerdstalgic is pretty good. I saw something about YouTube pulling some of his videos and demonetizing him which was unfortunate.
Is it nostalgic or nerdstalgic?
I think it's nerdstalgic.
Nerdstalgic.
Yeah,
nerdstalgic. Okay.
Yeah.
I
John
can't
Lemley,
find it.
that just goes to show that he knows what he's doing. Usually, the path to fame is infamy. I've come to notice.
Pretty much.
That nowadays. The path to fame is infamy, because
it's like my Mary Sue video. Why are so many SJW characters Mary Sue? It just hit 2 million views. So that's 2 million tears I have collected so far.
All right.
See, it's still
Congratulations.
That's the one they all hate. It's the one all the SJW weirdos they still talk about.
Why Rey is a Mary Sue and Luke Skywalker is not?
No, the other one. Why are so many SJW characters Mary Sues?
Oh, that was the more recent one.
Yeah, that was the more recent one.
Yeah.
Why are so many SJW characters Mary Sues? That's the one they always cry about still. Even to today, it's like the fires in Silent Hill. It keeps burning.
Okay, I just want to point out that everything I said is true, and as you can see, this person has been droning in the chat about me for the past, I don't know, his 10 comments, and I have to have that on my page because he likes some wrench called Cumberbatch. Right? Is that what's going on here? I just want to, just let it be known. I can see you. We can all see you. You're droning on and on about me and veering away from the conversation. So just so you guys know, I'm going to try to stay on topic.
Let's stay on topic.
Let's just stay on topic. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Sketch.
All right.
Else you can sell your drama elsewhere.
There you go.
We don't.
Yeah, sell your drama elsewhere, Hatch. Why you got to bring that here?
See, Semantic Dragon says Anakin Skywalker is a Mary Sue as well. Oh yeah, this is actually happened. I say Anakin Skywalker is a Mary Sue as well. Vosh says, did he just say Anakin Skywalker wasn't a Mary Sue? That's pretty much what happened during his coverage of my video. It's like my favorite part of Vosh's coverage of that video was when he paused the video and said, guys like Literature Devil, they'll never say a man is a Mary Sue. They'll never say it. It's always
and then the next frame he presses play. And then you brought up a male character that's a Mary Sue.
And I say Wesley Crusher. I was like, Wesley Crusher is also a male Mary Sue, and he didn't even stop. He's like, hopefully they don't notice that.
So it's like the next time he was like da 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 to continued.
It was great. It's my favorite part of the video of his coverage of my video. Yeah, they'll never say that a man of male character is Mary Sue. By the way, Wesley Crusher is a Mary Sue.
Someone make that a meme. Go on, do it.
Anyway, what did we say?
I said, someone make it a meme. So it's like a to be continued meme. So it said he'll never say a man is a Mary Sue, Wesley Crusher, then to be continued.
Press play, Wesley Crusher. It's literally like a few seconds later that happens. It was perfect. It was like a scene from an actual comedy or a sitcom. It was great.
Ow! Shut up, Will.
They were animals and you slaughtered them like animals.
Yeah. The women and the children. Let's see, Rocket Tails 499. Good serials are built on malleable premises and actually being able to ignore the main theme but keep the characters completely on point to the show. Yeah. You keep character consistency is what I like to call it. You keep character consistency, and you that's how you keep the show on continuity. That's how you keep the characters honest to and true to themselves. Character consistency, and the rest of the show maintaining its own version of consistency. What you don't want to do is what they did with Luke Skywalker and completely change his characters to fit your convenient plot or your convenient message. If you want a message, you somehow make it work while keeping all the characters consistent. That's what you call creativity. If you don't have creativity, you do what Rian Johnson does and is change everything so your idea can work.
Yep.
Anyway, so let's see.
Once upon a time, Cartoon Network was a relatively unknown quantity. It was a station that you'd flip to get one thing, and that thing only: reruns of Hanna-Barbera cartoons. The network aired no original content. Instead, it focused on preserving the worlds of the Jetsons and Flintstones. This is Big Sister. It's the second of two shorts, the one that would lead to the greenlighting of Dexter's Lab.
Oh, that was good.
The show would be the very first entirely animated block of original programming for Cartoon Network. The network was struggling to make a name for itself and identify its approach to original programming. Dexter's was its compass. The series was a massive success, both validating the network's foray into animated programming and giving the network a foundation to build upon. In some ways, Dexter's was the birth of the Cartoon Network you probably grew up with. But Dexter himself was proof of another reality.
One thing I found kind of funny is,
Wow.
I remember this one. But SpongeBob was not the first one to do the handsome Squidward meme. Dexter's Laboratory was the first one, obviously, to do the handsome Squidward meme. But one thing that was funny, have you ever seen Gargoyles? That show Gargoyles?
No, I remember
pieces of it as a child. I never got to watch it from start to finish.
Gargoyles was the guy who voiced Brooklyn, the red gargoyle. He was the same guy. I always thought it was funny that he was the same guy who voiced Dexter's dad, and it was pretty funny.
I love that show, man. Gargoyles was the shit. I'd love to see it again, but not by Disney, not this Disney. You know what I mean?
Not woke Disney. I was gonna make it
exactly.
Probably gonna make Angela the main character, and Goliath is all old and retired or something. I don't know.
Probably.
Anyway, this is one where Dexter is really self-conscious about taking his school photo, so he uses his magic science to give himself this chiseled, handsome face, and it looks horrible at the end because of all the lighting. Because he's so obsessed, because he has an ego. So it would have been perfect if we just sat there and took the picture. But he's like, okay, I'm gonna put this lighting on here and put all these reflectors and stuff like that, so I look the best. And all that lighting it generated a lot of heat, so his face started to melt. So in his picture, he looks like a pile of goop instead.
I haven't seen this one.
I am ready for my close-up, Miss Leibowitz. Yes, I am handsome, I know.
When Genndy Tartakovsky sat down to create Dexter's Lab, he didn't create Dexter, he created Dee Dee. He drew this tall dancer with an engorged head, and then, in an attempt to create her polar opposite, he drew a small block. As he says, that small block was Dexter. Animation, specifically children's animation, had fallen into a bit of a rut in the early 90s. A formula had developed in an attempt to recreate the icons of the previous Hanna-Barbera generation, throwing the playbook out the window. In fact, Dexter, as one Cartoon Network exec put it, was created to, well, literally be an icon. He is short, square, and extremely simple in design, his facial structure being limited in an effort to make him easier to animate, with his giant glasses juxtaposing his stout frame.
And there's his best friend, this is one episode where Dexter has a bunch of nerd friends out of nowhere. He usually has no friends, but sometimes they give him friends every once in a while. And they go to this convention. It's a Star Trek parody, and they all act like Star Trek cast members, and they go in, but they go to the wrong place. So they go into instead of going to the Star Trek convention, they go into well, it's not technically Star Trek. It's the non-copyrighted Star Trek. So it's instead of Klingons, they're Hang-Ons. But they go into this a different convention that's all about dolls and girly Barbies and stuff. And whoa, this is a weird alien environment. And it gets crazy because they're like, okay, here is a doll, and okay, it's a Barbie. It's a very special, unique, one of a kind Barbie, whatever. And it's okay, here's how much it costs, and he wants to buy it for research purposes so that his Spock can study it. But they don't have the money, so they have to fight the shop owner with those things they use on Star Trek. Those
phasers,
the staffs that have one side's like a bat and one side's a blade. They do that. They fight, and it's like a ritual. It gets crazy. It gets really crazy, and I think Dexter goes insane. But that's how crazy Dexter's Laboratory got.
They kind of acting like a landing party, right?
Yeah, they're an away team, pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah, Rocket Tail. It's for $9.99. Hanna-Barbera was built on ripping off old celebs. Yeah, it kind of was. It kind of was.
Dexter is extremely idiosyncratic in design. His age is intentionally imperceptible. He was given an accent because, as Genndy put it, all great scientists have accents, and most importantly, the way he's animated borrows from anime and Japanese influences, seen literally in this kaiju reference, melded together with classic Hanna-Barbera techniques. Close your eyes and I guarantee you can identify Dexter.
Hey, that was not in the original blueprint.
Open them and you can identify him with your ears taped shut. Give him a beard and you could find him in a Where's Waldo book. Turn him into a cocoon. And the same can be said with the traditional hand-drawn cell animation that the series used for the first 2 seasons, adding to the character's aesthetic. Dexter showed a team of very important people that creating an animated icon in the children's space no longer required you to follow a template. It simply required you to do things differently. This lesson wasn't lost on the people that created the show either. Dexter's impact is probably best felt in the careers that the show shaped. Ever wondered why Dexter's is still remembered so fondly today? Well, it's because it was phenomenal, sure, and that's because it was the start of the careers of people who would go on to define talent in the industry.
Didi, what are you doing in my laboratory?
Craig McCracken, he was Gendy's right-hand man on Dexter's. He go on to create the Powerpuff Girls. And
Yeah, it's Craig
later,
McCracken. Yeah, he went off to the Powerpuff Girls with I think assistance from Gendy Tartakovsky. Gendy Tartakovsky's I know Powerpuff Girls, like it's like a meme or so whatever it is that it looks like a girls show. It looks like a girls show, but it's more like a guy show because it's just a lot of brutal violence in there.
In the Powerpuff?
Yeah, Powerpuff Girls.
Hmm.
The original show, it was almost nothing but brutal violence, and they got away with it because it was like instead of blood, it was slime and other weird stuff. But yeah, they basically showed monsters getting dismembered and brutalized and destroyed. And you always see the guy that beat up Mojo Jojo. He always ends the show with like a bruised up face and like his brain exposed and stuff. It was brutal. It was brutal. And Gendy Tartakovsky, the original title of the show was not Powerpuff Girls, it was Whoop Ass Girls.
Okay.
And
it's kind of like Tom and Jerry violence, but did it go beyond that?
Worse than that. Much worse than
shit.
that.
All right.
Like where Tom can get hit in the head with a mallet and then come out fine, maybe just have like a flat head for a while. This is more realistic violence.
Yeah.
It's like, but there's no blood. So the guy around that. They did that. They got around that too with Samurai Jack by making everyone a robot. Instead of blood, it's just oil.
Samurai Jack, I know is fantastic, but this one I've been sleeping on it. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I mean, we're ready for a lot of violence, a lot of funny but brutal violence in Powerpuff Girls.
Buster's Home for Imaginary Friends, where he'd take the same idiosyncratic approach to character design and apply it to people like Woot and Eduardo. Seth MacFarlane would get a big break in the industry writing and supporting Gendy on Dexter's Lab as well. That's right, the man behind Family Guy. Dexter's was one of the first shows that paved his eventual path.
I'm hoping
to
that
Peter
his
and
use
the
of
Griffins.
music isn't going to get us demonetized.
Yeah,
I hope so too.
in the background.
I keep an eye on it. It says if we go suddenly, the amount of watchers drops to 0. We've been taking off.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep an eye on
The
it.
good thing is he seems to only be doing it for brief seconds, so maybe we can get away with it.
Yeah,
I'm watching the stream from an incognito window, so I'll know.
Oh, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Rocket Sailors for $1.99. Don't worry, Morty. There's just robots. It's okay. Yeah, it's that's actually true in Samurai Jack's case. Samurai Jack would in no way be allowed on the Cartoon Network if that was actual blood. There was just no way. It's so much. One of the first episodes, in fact, had Jack slay an entire army, and then at the end he's covered in oil. But if that were blood, it would be not rated TV 7 or whatever it was. It would be far more horrific.
These guys are great writers
Would
too,
also
right?
write and storyboard for Dexter's, a show in which he
Who? Hartman? Yeah, he made a Fairly Odd Parents. Which
Well,
lasted forever.
McFarlane, Hartman. I mean, these guys. That must have made them a lot of money. When you created the Powerpuff Girls, what's that pocket looking like?
Quite a bit, because it lasted a long time. It was a long-running franchise. In fact, they have reboots now of Powerpuff Girls, which I hear is not nearly as great. We went more of the quirky, current year sort of style, as opposed to the awesome 90s style that it had, or early 2000s style that it had. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it got them a pretty penny. Powerpuff Girls was very, very well received.
Cool.
And it was very funny too. Very funny. There was one where I think they punched. There's one called Lumpkins or something like that, and they punched him so hard his butt fell off, and it was like it was like ham inside. It like sliced ham. Just so it wouldn't be horrific. Is it Alex Halo? There was a 2. PPG also got a weird anime remake. Yeah, I heard about that too. Powerpuff Girls had a weird anime remake. I heard about that. I think they were older or something.
Well, the latest one, the writers were getting kind of, I don't know, self-inserting themselves into a relationship with the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, so I've heard it was very, very creepy, and they're trying to defend it.
Oh my god.
Let's see here. Let's see. KH and Mr. 2. Good evening, LD. Well, good evening to you, KH. Welcome, welcome. So let's see.
We would learn a lot of the lessons that led to the creation of Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. Even to this day, we're still seeing the impact of that team, like Chris Savino, who would eventually create the Nickelodeon show Loud House. The people creating Dexter's Lab.
Loud House is like the only good show that there is on Nickelodeon nowadays.
I haven't seen that show.
Yeah, I was just saying Loud House is the only good show anymore on Nickelodeon.
I haven't even seen it. It looks like a modern cartoon, though.
Yeah, it was actually fairly decent. I was pleasantly surprised.
Kind of reminds me of that other show, The Misadventures of Captain Knuckles, or some.
I'm not familiar with that.
It was pretty strange. It came alongside with Chowder. It came alongside Chowder, which actually Chowder was actually kind of a technically kind of a spin-off of SpongeBob. Yeah, it's just different. But instead of like it was the premise was a wizard and his apprentice. But instead of a wizard and his apprentice, it was a chef and his apprentice cook. And that's what it was.
Okay.
It's very weird. A very weird show, but I personally enjoyed it.
Are people that weren't just talented, they were the talent. The talent that would go on to define an entire generation of animation, and all of them, at one point in time, sat at the same table, creating, writing, animating the adventures of these two. More importantly, those adventures helped shape and mold the very adventures they...
That episode with the thing where Dexter has like a stiff lip, someone told him to keep a stiff upper lip, and so he took that literally and made a device to keep his upper lip stiff.
Damn.
Yeah, another bit of his weakness, how he takes things too seriously. He seems to have an insecure ego.
Yeah, it's all about his ego. So he had
sometimes it compromises his competence.
Exactly, it does. It does, and it hurts him all the time. As he reconciles with 99 cartoon humor in the woke age, twerking. That is all. Yeah, I heard about that. They make
God.
Twerk for some reason. It gets creepy. It gets really creepy.
It was that same guy, I think.
Yeah, I said far away from the reboot. It looks disgusting. It looks disgusting to me. It was Reconcino, Flapjack. John Riddick, Flapjack. It was the Flapjack and Mr.
I loved that weird ass show.
Yeah,
I loved that weird ass show.
It was dark and weird. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
It was funny because I was younger at the time. My mother used to always buy me McDonald's, and it was always when I would be watching that show. So watching that show makes me want to eat McDonald's. And let's see. I also liked Chowder.
Yeah, Chowder's good. I like Chowder. Misadventures of Flapjack, and
I think 3 shows that I think were good, even though they were using this new age random, like this new random age of being funny. Were Adventure Time, Flapjack, and Chowder. Those are the only funny shows that are quote unquote random, and they're actually kind of good.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. I personally enjoyed them.
I liked one. I liked one that got weird, like really weird, and at first I hated it, but then I would just like wind up watching it. Squidbillies. That was so weird, but sometimes they would just
the animation is so disgusting, though.
Yes. You're right. That's what was a turnoff for me. But then when you start I found one story that was kind of weird and a little psychedelic, and then it's strange. It's like a strange trip, but it'll take your mind on a trip. It's very trippy. That's the best description. But sometimes it'll go deep without showing it. You know what I'm saying? Into the layers of society and how things work and government and all this shit. And I'm like, wow, I wasn't expecting this, or maybe I'm just really high.
We live in a society.
You live in a society.
DJ and Voices, thing, Mr. 10. I remember one Powerpuff Girls episode where they all try to create their own unique hero identities, and they're terrible and get nothing accomplished. Pretty funny. That was a funny episode. So they're all Powerpuff Girls. Like they can fly. They're pretty much all Supermen. Like they have laser vision and stuff. Well, actually, they can fly and they're all super strong.
They fly now.
Yeah, they fly now. They fly now. They fly now. But there was actually one episode where they actually differentiated between their powers because they were getting older, so they started developing new powers.
Nathaniel Abaro, funny timing. I was just thinking about the regular show. The only one that made me laugh was the pilot.
Oh yeah, the regular show. I remember that. There's one with a guy with like the bubble gum head.
Yeah, that's everybody's favorite character because he's like the straight man to all the monotony.
Well, yeah, the Jane Books. I remember that one where they wanted to get their own superhero personas. So because other heroes were so cool, and they wanted their own personas. So I think Blossom she became like Wonder Woman, and she got like her own little car. But every time there was a monster, she got stuck in traffic. And then Buttercup, she became like a Batman type, and she got in her head where she can only go out at night. So the monster was attacking during the day. So she just can't go out yet. It's not nighttime yet. And so she just waited until nighttime, and then by the time that she got there, the monster was already gone. And by the time Blossom got there, the monster was already gone. And this happened for like 3 days.
I love that they made Buttercup the Batman type because she's my favorite as I got a little bit older and edgier, she became my favorite. When I was a little kid, Bubbles was my favorite.
Is that the brunette?
Yeah, that's the brunette.
Yeah,
that's the tomboy. That's the tomboy.
And it was pretty funny because the monster got fed up with them. The monster's like, I came here for the last 3 days, destroying your city, and not one of you have come here to stop me. This is an embarrassment. Because the monster was supposed to be the thing is, he revealed that Monster Island exists, and monsters come to Townsville from Monster Island to get beat up by the Powerpuff Girls. Because if they survive, because as I said, the violence is pretty brutal. Sometimes they don't actually survive; they die, and they explode. And sometimes all their blood and goop get all over the town.
I used to like the character design. Those three. There was like those green guys that would always come at them. I used to like the one with the sunglasses.
The Gangrene Gang.
Yeah, I used to like the one with the sunglasses.
And the Gangrene Gang were funny because they had, I think, no, that was
they were like the helpless villain. Like they were like I want to say like the Wario brothers. Like they had this very helpless villain type vibe. I love characters like that. They just put me in such a good mood. I love helpless villains.
They were really edgy, but they're really useless.
Yeah, like the what is it? Team Rocket from Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Emperor Pilaf in the original Dragon Ball.
They had even worse. They have even a worse set of villains called the Amoeba Boys, and they were even worse than the Gangrene Gang because their idea of committing crimes were like stepping on the grass.
Oh, I remember them. Yeah, like they were like, yeah, see, and then they think they're breaking the law when they're not even doing anything.
They act like tough gangsters. They're like, here's our
I forgot about them. I'm so glad you reminded me of them.
That's we're gonna walk on the grass, see. And even the Powerpuff Girls, and even in fact, they were so pathetic that they're like, "Come on, beat us up, come on." And the Powerpuff Girls like, "Fine," so like barely like punched him in the face, and they
they do like a little tap with this dead inside look, like
like fine, we'll beat you up because they're so pathetic as villains.
They just wanted to be villains. They didn't even want to win. They just wanted the right to be villains.
I think they kept Pilaf all the way to the end, right?
They did. They did. Yeah, Pilaf remained he was like the main villain. I think the first arc of Dragon Ball, and then he got defeated, and then they kept him on as this kind of like a useless
comedic relief,
a running gag. He was like a running gag, like to let you know that the stakes aren't as high right now, and that this is basically, I want to say filler, but that wouldn't be the right term.
He's always just off doing silly stuff,
character building.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, his character
more like,
doesn't change.
More like, actually, no, not really. More like just killing time, but it's not filler because it was in the manga.
Okay.
But I remember they brought him back for Super, and I was like, oh, well, that's good. I like Pilaf. They de-aged them though. They made them kids, and that's funny because they're very silly. He's a very silly villain, and his lackeys are very silly people. So they're very
Gangrene Gang. That's my choice, John Limley.
Is he John Lemley? There's your 5. Choose your fighter: Gangrene Gang, Professor Chaos, or Movie Bob.
Specifically, the one with the sunglasses.
Professor Chaos is fantastic. He's Butters.
No, but he's also Pimp Butters because you can't forget Pimp Butters.
I don't think anyone's gonna pick Movie Bob.
Pimp Butters is great.
And do you remember when Pimp Butters, aka Professor Chaos, had a troll farm?
Yeah, I remember that. He made like a. It was like a
That was
Facebook.
hilarious.
On Facebook, he made a literal troll farm.
They had Mark Zuckerberg protecting him, and that was the whole precursor to the video game. It's like the video game they made of South Park.
I think so.
Butthole.
It was awesome.
I didn't get to play it, but I should. I love
You
those
should
guys.
Fractured Butthole and Stick of Truth. They're fucking fantastic.
Stick of Truth is a lot of fun. I didn't finish the Fractured Butthole. I didn't finish that one yet. See, Record for the 99. Buff criminals dressed as PPG was hilarious. I remember that one. I don't remember why they did that. I just remember that buff criminals did dress up as Powerpuff Girls for some reason. You know,
that was funny. That was
very,
funny.
very funny.
Another thing that was like, if you want to, I recommend for the chat, anyone that wants like that old Cartoon Network style animation, but with more adult new age humor, watch Panty and Stocking with Carter Belt. I was rolling watching that show.
What was it called again?
Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. That's the names of the characters. They're the running gag is that they're slutty names. One of them is actually a guy. But I recommend the Japanese dub because it's funnier when they do English cursing.
Okay.
I heard about the show. I haven't seen that show, but I've heard of it before. I heard it was good.
I remember they also had an Ace Attorney reference in there.
Subjection. Anyway, let's continue.
Subjective.
Create long after Dexter's and Dee Dee's ended. And yet Dexter's most important accomplishment is one that's much harder to miss.
Clumsy me! Dexter!
Throughout the 90s, animation was attempting to break.
Yeah, I remember that episode. That was in there, all right.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
Dad's trophy.
New kind of mold. The Hanna-Barbera era presented a style of animation and narrative that was aimed mostly at children, with very little concern for adult viewers. Genndy and Dexter set out to assist in breaking the mold for animation that was layered, created with viewers of all ages.
I love when they do that. I love
Dexter's
when they
wasn't
do
a
that.
simple children's show.
Stuff that'll raise a parent's eyebrow and make them laugh if they're not too sensitive.
Yeah, that ninja episode was really good because the ninja episode was a Dee Dee episode actually, and it was they had like she had her own little paper route, and then this ninja gang comes in and they have their own paper route. But when they threw papers, they threw them like weapons. So when they delivered a paper, they would break windows and hit people and like hit dogs and stuff. And then it proceeded like an anime or something. So Dee Dee is like she has her own paper, but everyone loves her, and then there was her dad goes out to get the paper, and a ninja hits her dad with the paper, and he's like, "No!" He gets coffee all over him instead of blood. So it's like she holds him in her arms, like, "No!" like he's dead. And then he comes back later as like a ghost, like, "Dee Dee, you're doing fantastic." Like he's not a ghost, he's not dead, but he just plays the part. So he's not dead, but it acts like he is. So it's Dee Dee versus the ninja group.
Yeah,
and,
I like the I noticed something similar with like something that parents can laugh at that kids won't catch, so it's still child friendly. Something similar to that I've heard housewives say about the original Blue's Clues is that when they were having their kid watch it, sometimes they would watch it with them while they're eating breakfast or something, and they would notice that like, you know, Steve will be talking to like the salt and pepper or whatever, and then the kid is just watching it, you know, watching him talk to the salt and pepper, and sometimes Steve will sarcastically look at the screen like a little wink wink nudge nudge to the parents, and it would just make them laugh. Like he's like, I'm talking to the salt and pepper, and then he looks at the screen. like you won't catch it unless you're an adult.
Because they know adults are probably watching these shows with the kids, so they want to put them a little bit.
Like they want to, well, because it gives me the impression that it's almost like they're using it as an opportunity to help parents raise their children just a little bit more easily, and I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, now it's we want to take over your children's mind.
Yeah.
Well, Barney is very hard to watch. I mean, you know, at least Barney's not gonna give you anything to work with. It's just purely, absolutely for kids.
It's all love. It's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you're gonna want to die. Powerpuff Girls is probably, if you had a choice to keep your kid chill between Powerpuff and Barney, you're gonna go Powerpuff.
Oh yeah, Powerpuff Girls is way better, way better. Let's always go with Genndy Tartakovsky. Powerpuff Girls had brutal, horrific violence in there.
Hell yeah,
it was great. It was great. And speaking of that, though, there is a episode of Power Girls called "Members Only," and it's basically an episode where they get invited to all the heroes you see in Dexter's Laboratory because they connected. So there's a superhero in Dexter's Laboratory called Major Glory, and then Fraggable Hulk, Fraggable Crunk, and Val Hallen.
Rad Hallen.
Yeah, it was awesome. The Super Pals or something like that.
Yeah.
And the
Justice Pals or Justice Heroes or something.
Something
It was
like that.
something.
It was always
Yeah.
hilarious. But there was the Power Girls actually get invited to their group, and it's an episode called Members Only, and it's a group of heroes. And the thing is, they're all men, so it's a play on members only.
Oh.
See here. Next is N06 and with 5. Remember Focals, the band Gorillaz, and is canon in the Powerpuff universe. Huh.
I
Or
think he
is
meant
it the other way
Fox.
around? Interesting.
Didn't Fairly Odd Parents have something similar to Ultra Lord? What was it?
I forgot what it was, actually. It was
what was it? What was it?
The Crimson
Sergeant.
Chin was one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the Crimson Chin, of course. I mean, come on. But there was another one.
They had a
There was
Crimson
another
Chin,
one.
and they had some other guy. I forgot what his name was.
He was the less memorable one.
Yeah, I just remember the Crimson Chin. Here comes the Crimson
Crash
Chin.
Nebula.
Yeah, Crash Nebula. That was it. Crash Nebula.
Out of all the guys you said, I kind of remember Valhalla. He was like kind of like Thor, but with a guitar.
He had an axe, which is a guitar.
I wonder who Crash Nebula was supposed to be the stand-in for. We know who the Crimson Chin was, but I wonder who Crash Nebula was a parody of.
I don't know. That's a good question. It was a lot of fun though. I remember they also eventually did a crossover between Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron. And
Yeah.
they didn't exist in the same universe. They exist in separate universes.
They had a major missed opportunity making the two dad characters meet because they were each the funniest character in their respective show.
Yeah, they're both the dumb dad.
Yeah, I wanted Timmy Turner's dad to meet Jimmy Neutron's dad, but they didn't capitalize on that opportunity.
Let's see here. So John Lemmy, think we should 5. The guy who played Barney and got fired should be Kanye's VP. I didn't hear about that.
What?
He's a parody. Wow, Crash Nebula is a parody of 3 characters. He's a parody of Harvey Birdman, Space Ghost, and The Flash.
That's interesting.
Not specific. They're like, we want a Batman stand-in, and we want one guy to stand in for everybody else.
Pretty much.
Yep.
The Crimson Chin was funny. I think it was actually voiced by Adam West. Wasn't he?
Was he? Was he?
Wow.
Are you serious?
I don't remember. Maybe he wasn't. But I remember. No, I think there was another guy called Catman. There's another hero called Catman somewhere. That was voiced by Adam
No.
West.
Yeah, you're thinking of Catman. He did. Yeah. He. Although it looks like he did other. He played himself in the show. And then,
He
wait.
did.
And he did Catman. Oh my God, this is funny. Yeah.
Nuance in a way that was extremely rare to see in Western animation at the time. Staged and cinematic in ways as a kid I don't even think I noticed. Dexter's when visualizing action
this guy
used
sounds
techniques
so
for
much like
pacing and
Clean
framing that were
What'd you say?
He sounds so much like Clean Prince Gaming. Like other people point out as well in the chat when I brought it up. But I can't stop hearing Clean Prince Gaming whenever I hear him.
It was his other channel or something. That episode of Dexter's Laboratory was crazy. They Mandark, which is Dexter's rival, they're both super geniuses. They both bring 2 heads from Mount Rushmore alive, and apparently they had bodies under there, and they started fighting them like robots. And of course, the 2 presidents, they kind of stopped fighting because
That was the other genius, right? The other genius kid.
the other
They always
genius,
fighting. Okay.
and he always like ha 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 ha. That was his laugh.
Ha 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 ha. He is something about Mandark.
Yeah, and there was a whole episode of Mandark where everything he did was in that pattern. So he was like,
Yeah, I know. That was funny. That was funny. He cried in that pattern and everything.
Boo hoo 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 hoo.
Yeah, that was supposed to be. I think I think I'm getting 2 episodes mixed up. Don't mind me.
Is he John Lemmy? Thanks for 5. The guy who played Barney got fired for being drunk and saying he hates kids.
Are you kidding me?
That's like a story.
I mean, if I was Barney, I would hate kids too after a while.
Yep.
Today the Shark. Thank you for 2. Don't worry, Professor. I was an accident too. Oh, fantastic.
I have a nice image for the chat, real quick.
Let's see, Crimson Insano. Crimson Insano. Rocky Insano. That's for the $99. Crimson Chin was voiced by Jay Leno. Get it? Chin? Yeah, because his name is the Chin.
That's
Oh,
even
that's
more.
fantastic.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense. Let's see here. Oh, is that the Crimson
There
Chin?
we go.
That's in the Crimson Chin. That's fantastic.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Let's see, Yellow Flash. Welcome, Yellow Flash. English too. Tell your mom to stop holding back my boy sketch.
Hey, their Whisper Network, that's gonna come out too.
Hey, Yellow
Yeah.
Flash.
The Whisper Network.
Yep.
And see here, Kylo Rocket. You could deadass make a beat from that character's laugh. You could. You absolutely could. You're gonna make a lo-fi beat too. It'd be fantastic. Let's see here, back up here.
Didn't Mandark have a thing for Dee Dee? I think he did.
Yes, he did. He was in love with Dee Dee, and she hated him. It was perfect.
Why don't you send the Yellow Flash the link in case he wants to come on? You want to come on, Flash? I always love seeing you. I don't know. This is your show. I'm sorry.
I can do that.
I love crossovers, though. You know, that's like my whole thing, man.
I could. I would. Yeah, it'd be awesome. With Yellow Flash one.
Yeah, if you're having breakfast and you got stuff to do, Yellow Flash, we understand. But if you
No,
got a
fucking
chance,
eat your breakfast while I'm here. I've done it before.
Yeah, I just sent Yellow
people
Flash.
watch you.
In fact, I'm making pizza right now.
If Yellow Flash wants to come on, I sent the invitation.
What is
You want
this,
to
a
come on?
crossover episode?
Oh yeah, one of the crossover episodes. Let's see here. So,
Fantastic.
we'll finish this episode. We'll finish this video. Then I want to go into Hey Arnold at least before we have to end. So let's
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
don't we go a little longer if you don't mind? If you
Well,
don't-
I mean, we're only an hour and a half in.
yeah. But I think
To be
all the
honest, it's
material-
up to you. The
all the
longer, the
material we
merrier
have-
for me.
You know, all the material we have to go through. It's going to last. We have enough material to last quite a while.
I think there's just been so much going on that, and we just have so much to cover that we can just kind of go on as long as you feel like. I think you have like a limited time because of StreamYard, right?
No, it's just I only want to go for so long. If we get
I
if
got
too long, the YouTube kind of punishes you. Plus,
Really?
I kind of want to keep it within a certain time frame, so it's not too intimidating. It's not like an EFAP or 11-hour time run. Nice digestible, I think.
I think Yellow Flash says that he's working, but he would. So that's kind of like a maybe some other time. So hey, I'd love to see you come on and share with these people. I think it would be fantastic, Yellow Flash, and have a great shift.
Yeah, it'd be great. Have a great day, Yellow
Yeah.
Flash. It's gonna be fantastic. We're gonna have
All
a
right. Well,
fantastic
you have a
week.
good one, Yellow Flash. Best of luck to you.
Let's see.
Yep.
Typically reserved for Japanese animation or more cerebral live action films, and yet here Dexter's is providing us with fights that very few shows have ever and will ever be able to stylistically replicate in the animation
I forgot. There's
space of the
Monkey. Monkey was the best.
Oh yeah.
One of the guys in the chat was saying dial M for Monkey.
Dial M for Monkey. Yeah, Monkey was the best. He was like an awesome superhero. He was created by Dexter in his lab. He thought his intro was like all this testing and scanning and all this stuff. Nothing happens. But secretly, Monkey had superpowers, and he wanted to keep it secret from Dexter. So when he's called, Monkey activates the superpowers, and he goes off and fights bad guys. It was pretty brutal, usually, most of the time.
John
And,
Reddick, speaking of devils, y'all remember the red guy from Cow and Chick? Don't remind me of that guy.
The Red Devil guy, yeah.
Yeah, the guy clapping his ass cheeks all the time. I don't want to think about that guy.
The guy was gross.
Didn't there was a Phineas and Ferb have kind of a trope like that where the pet no one knew it was a secret agent?
Yeah,
or something
it was the platypus. The platypus pet.
You want to talk
create.
about intimidating villains? What about one creepy one is him from Powerpuff Girls? Since we're on
He
the
was
topic.
good. He was good. Him was fantastic.
The thing with him, I think that what was that newer show where they made the background of hell look like every time him was on the screen, the way the background would change. I'm gonna look up the name of the show. Go ahead and continue the video.
Let's check it out. Hold on. Let's see. John Lemley, Language 5. I'm at Sam's Club right now, but one day I'm going to force my way into getting a mic here on Smudcast. It's a good aspiration. Good aspiration. Very good. Very good. Let's see here. So that's Monkey. Monkey was fantastic. I always like the Monkey shorts. They're very good. They're all very good.
The training wheels for what Gendy would eventually accomplish with Samurai Jack. The writing was consistently elevated beyond traditional slapstick as well, like this joke.
Your club is for big IDKSCs. IDKSCs. See? Hey, I'm on the tower.
Your club is for big IDKSCs. Very clever. Yeah, you couldn't really catch that as a kid. But yeah, your club is for big dicks. Okay. And the Rocket Tales for $1.99. Is gay Red Devil guy a trope or something? No, it was from Cow and Chicken. It was from Cow and Chicken. You know what? I don't know. Now that you pointed out, I don't know, because him was androgynous. He was like a guy, but he wore like a fur coat and stuff. So I guess maybe it was just to make it look creepy or something. I don't know.
Oh, Mom!
Play a little word scramble and you'll see what Dee Dee just called Dexter. This here is a play on a drug deal, and this, well...
Yes, dancing. I'd like to see you dance. Oh, okay, but it's $50 extra.
I think you're smart enough to get that one on your own.
And that was the one where Dexter fired Dee Dee from being his big sister. Like, she wasn't just showing his lab enough or something. So he hired a new person.
Has Been Hotel. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Has Been Hotel for the cartoon where the background always looks like the way Powerpuff Girls would look when him was on the screen.
Oh yeah, Has Been Hotel. I like that show.
Has Been Hotel. It looked like if it looked like they made hell look like the landscape would appear if him was on the screen with the architecture of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Also, like a Hell of a Boss. That was pretty good. Also, same people made that one.
I loved that one. That one was funny. That one was funny.
The most difficult hurdle to jump, however, when working in animation is understanding the breadth of your audience. And in doing all of these things, Dexter's pushed the limits of what animation was at the time, through both humor, writing, and action. And it did proving that there could be substance within animation of all kinds, regardless of concept. Or even slapstick animation of today can trace back to shows like Ren and Stimpy and Dexter's.
Oh God!
I remember that.
By the time season 2 of Dexter's Lab wrapped up, Genndy was burnt out, exhausted, as he put it, ready to move on from the weight of the series. It wasn't a bluff. He left it behind, ending the show then and there, and it isn't hard to see why. It's for the very same reasons that Cartoon Network would revive the show for 2 more seasons down the line. Dexter's was a clear and obvious labor of love. From its hand-drawn animation to the attention to detail in both the writing and the visuals, the show was unlike anything else on television at the time. But I don't think even Genndy, as he walked away after season 2 never to return, understood the legacy the show would carry and the impact it would have on both the network and the people who had a hand in creating it. But I think it's clear that the biggest impact the show had was on us, the viewers. Dexter's Lab was the first time I felt like I was seeing something I had never seen before splash across my television screen. This guy was the first animated character whose voice I tried to imitate, whose figure I wanted to learn how to draw. Not just because he was unique, but it felt like I could. By keeping it simple and deceptively hiding the show's complexities in plain sight, Dexter's was able to make millions of kids for the very first time feel like animation was something within their grasps. And then as we got older and
that was the one where Dee Dee tries to help him find a new look because he's tired of
anybody else hearing that like hooting noise?
Yes. It's not me though. We don't
I
have
think
Alice
it's a video,
in Puerto
actually.
Rico.
I think
Hold
it's
on one second. It might be
the-
birds outside my window.
Okay.
Yes, we sell the birds down to that level of hell, so it might be. As the Alex Halo, number 2, a monkey put on a mask. Perry the monkey. Perry, yes, it was Perry the platypus from Phineas and Ferb.
Yep.
That's what his name was. Yeah, Perry the monkey.
No, yeah, Barry.
visited the show, we understood that there was so much more to grab onto. Dexter's was the entry point for so many into how weird, how strange, and how far the limits of the animation that had come before it could be stretched. My childhood rests in the house that Dexter's Lab built. I'm willing to bet some of yours does too.
Today was a fine day for science.
And so that was his catchphrase at one time. Today's a fine day for science. And that little
His catchphrase was "success."
Yeah, that too also. Also, he made that little machine thing. He made an entire machine that was just there to give him high fives.
Did this come before Pinky and the Brain?
It's Inky and the Brain.
Yeah, I love that show.
I think it was around the same time because Animaniacs was also around the same time frame. Maybe.
I love when they had that Tom and Jerry movie and Inky and the Brain made a cameo.
Yeah.
I missed that. I gotta see that.
See, Rocket Sailors for that 99. Take your bloody Hogwarts letter already. Bloody Hogwarts letter. Yeah, just get the Hogwarts letter. Yeah,
you know that the villain is the real dad of Phineas. That's why they look exactly the same.
No, Pinky and the Brain, not Inky and the Brain. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Pinky and the Brain. Now, and there's a theory about that where Pinky's actually the genius and Brain's actually the insane one. And see, Rocket Sailors, get your Hogwarts letter, Shiny. Just take it so that the owl can go away. Okay.
Oh, fuck off! I'm not gonna that shit. I don't want to be part of that franchise.
Yeah. Hogwarts is the best school, though. The best school.
No,
I wanted to show you something right quick. Can you share my screen?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so this is Phineas and Ferb, right?
Right.
And this is the villain. I want you to look at the villain's head shape and look at Phineas's head shape. I think that's the real dad.
The same head shape, yeah.
Look at the dad. Look at the dad. Look at the dad. The dad looks like this.
He's like
Ferb. The mom doesn't look like either of them. Look at this guy's head and look at this guy's head. I think we're on to something here. I saw PewDiePie discuss this.
It's just Phineas's head is a little bit different. Almost same hair.
Well, maybe a little like his mom.
So he's trying to say his mom's a hoe.
He looks like a nacho.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Well, he's an evil scientist. Maybe she.
He looks like he could stab you with his face.
Yes. I never saw
seen Phineas and Ferb.
Dude,
no, I've seen it. It's just that I haven't really looked at it. Really,
I haven't seen it, but I saw PewDiePie watching it.
The Great Doofenshmirtz.
I used to watch this as a kid.
Let's see here. Yeah, it was a pretty good show. It's a pretty good show. Let me see. Okay, so next up, I want to go over Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold time.
Check out Hey Arnold. It was my
you
favorite
sure
shows
you
back
don't?
then.
You sure you don't secretly want to do a Powerpuff Girls video?
I don't know. He just started off with Powerpuff Girls for some reason. I don't know why.
And we've been talking about it.
And sentient pant-wearing sponges. Sometimes it's good to just indulge in slice of life stories like the ones in Hey Arnold. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, there was a rising interest in cartoons exploring more grounded themes and stories known as slice of life. And cartoons like Rugrats, Rocket Power, As Told by Ginger, and Hey Arnold all fulfilled that niche. Hey Arnold focuses around 4th grader Arnold Shortman, whose parents Miles and Stella abandoned him when he was a 1-year-old to go to San Lorenzo, thus living his life with his paternal grandparents Phil and Gertie, proprietors of the Sunset Arms boarding house. Arnold attends PS 118 along with several other students.
I mean, we never got to see his parents. We got to see his parents in like one episode, and it
ended up being particularly actualizing for his grandparents.
Okay.
Because his parents never came back from their latest trip to I think save some people in some place, and they just never returned. We don't know if he's alive or not, but they just never returned. So the grandparents became his guardians. And
I think there was even an episode about the grandfather like gaining back his competence, and they even had a Rocky Balboa-esque scene where he goes up the stairs.
Yeah, they did. And there's one the thing about the Arnold Shortman thing, how his last name is Shortman, that was dumb because it was Grandpa. You always called him a short man. Hey, what's going on, short man? And then they just kind of made that his last name for some reason.
That's silly.
So it went from nickname, cute little nickname, to his actual last name. So
yeah, what's up, kiddo? And then that's his last name.
Yeah, so it went from his grandpa saying, what's up, Bucko, to hey, last name,
Mr. Bucko, is it?
Yeah, now it's more formal. It's kind of strange.
It's actually really weird. Now that means calling it. Excuse me. Now that means he's calling him by his last name.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like a very it went from loving to kind of formal,
like
and,
business-like. That's really weird.
See,
I wonder when they made that decision.
I don't know actually, but they did. I guess apparently. I thought that was like a theory actually. I don't remember that ever becoming official. I mean, I forgot, but I thought it was more of a theory. Maybe just Play was playing on that theory.
Or maybe people just took it more seriously than it was meant to be taken. Like maybe there was one scene where he signs a document or something. They're like, "What do we put for his last name?" Ah, fuck it, just put Shortman. It'd be funny.
Maybe I can't remember specifically on that one. See, John Lemmy, thanks for 5. How is your bed and breakfast with Dwight going? Has he achieved his dream salary of $80,000 a year yet? Not yet. In fact, it's getting smaller every year.
Best friend Gerald, who is instantly recognizable in his red shirt with the number 33 on it. And Helga, who acts
feather
hostile
duster
towards
hair.
the football-headed protagonist, yet is absolutely and maybe even obsessively in love with Arnold.
Maybe.
Now, in each episode, Arnold typically helps one of his schoolmates solve a problem or deals with one of his own predicaments. Hey Arnold premiered on October 7th, 1996, but this was not actually the first time we saw Arnold. In fact, the show's conception dates back to the 1980s when it was made out of clay by the creator Craig Bartlett, who was also responsible for the penny short claymations on CBS's Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I just thought it'd be really funny. I thought, what if he was really kind of low to the ground, had a really wide head and like massive hair, and his eyes were way out here, and I was kind of trying to be kind of radical. That was all just part of me trying to make a distinctive design. Matt Groening, my brother-in-law, he told me early on, he said, an important thing about character design is to make them work even in silhouette. So if you were to see them in a dark, you'd be like, oh, there's Arnold. And I really took that to heart.
Craig Bartlett shot Arnold on a glass panel in his living room and produced 3 shorts. The shorts showcased...
I think pretty good to know. Character design, that you can even identify them even via silhouette. It's actually pretty good. Even
Look
if
at the driver's head.
ears. Yeah, look at the bat cowl.
The driver has no head.
That's weird.
That's
There's
funny.
no head up there.
Because they didn't want to show the adult. But it's like the style of the car is too exaggerated to hide the head. So they're like, fuck it, just decapitate him.
Mm-hmm.
Just has no head now.
I it's in there somewhere. Just forget about it.
Well, I think they were just...
Not in a gay way or anything.
No, of course not. Yeah, it goes without saying.
It looks like they were pulling a bit of a Charlie Brown, but I think it just kind of turned out that way. And they were like, you know what? It's funny. Keep it.
That's really creepy. Is this he's getting around by a headless corpse? It's you met the Chief Nimno. Thanks, dude. Now I have to watch all of Hey Arnold again. There goes my weekend. Well, it's not gonna be that bad of a weekend. Hey Arnold's a really good show. Very good show.
Sounds good.
Arnold as a rich prep school kid with a vivid imagination who would constantly daydream and then be snapped out of it later, hence, Hey Arnold. Later, Arnold also made his comic debut in the Simpsons Illustrated magazine from 1991.
Oh yeah, Simpsons. Dan Castellaneta, the guy who voices Homer, also voices his grandpa. So I guess why the crossover was,
So that's why they refer to it. He reflects a lot.
Yeah. And see here, reconciling for $1.99. Matt Groening, my brother-in-law, he said so casual. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He
name
did.
dropping like a mofo.
Yeah, this is all these awesome people, like everyone else does.
To 1993. Later on, when Bartlett was working at Klasky Chupo Inc. as a story editor on Rugrats, he teamed up with 5 writers from Rugrats to develop more animation projects for Nickelodeon, which eventually led to the creation of Hey Arnold.
We all got together and just said, hey, let's create shows, 6 of us. And we put together ideas for 4 or 5 show ideas, and we went to meet with Mary Harrington. So all 6 of us pile into her office one day. So we pitched our ideas and nothing. Mary's like, meh. And so I got out a tape, a VHS cassette of my sample reel with Penny.
Yeah.
And it had on the front of it the little claymation Arnold shorts. And she goes, wait, who's this? And she watched, Arnold escape from church and she said, what, have you got more of this guy? And I had my comics. I had the Simpsons Illustrated magazines that had like a Sunday Funnies formatted, 8-panel Arnold adventure, and she loved those. And one of them, Arnold rides a roller coaster, this terrifying roller coaster.
I love how
everyone's screaming, and
indifferent
he's
he
just like
always looks.
deadpan. You see
Yeah,
all
yeah.
7 first panels of that.
his face going down the roller coaster, everyone's screaming in the background. He's just, yeah, whatever.
Like
there's
One Punch Man.
There's the bully. There's the bully. That's
Oh my god, I think I just ruined everyone's life. Now someone's gonna make a fan theory about Hey Arnold being Kid One Punch Man.
That'd be good. He goes. He goes.
It's fantastic.
His head stretched a
And you
little bit.
Him walk home, and you see his house at night and the moon, and then he sits up in bed and screams.
Yeah.
And that drawing of him screaming, she's like, "This is funny. Let's talk about this." And Paul said, "Mark my words, this is going to be a show."
After creating ideas for Arnold, Bartlett began work on the supporting characters, drawing influence from his actual childhood. The show also evolved from claymation to cell animation, but apart from this obvious difference in animation styles, Nix Arnold had to change his appearance to a sweater over an untucked plaid shirt instead of a kilt. But he did get to keep his iconic cap. And with these changes, the show made its debut as an animated short for the Nickelodeon film Harriet the Spy in July of 1996. Production on the show started in August 1995 and ended on December 7th, 2001, after 100 episodes and 1 theatrical film. But the very last episodes were not aired until 2004. And also, for a brief period, a spin-off series called The Patakis was actually planned. The premise was to focus on Helga Pataki in her teenage years and her family.
Yeah, I heard about that. They were actually developing a Pataki show, but it got canceled. I think.
Wasn't that one a little? Wasn't that girl a little crazy?
Yeah, she was very crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, she was kind of nuts.
She had a horrible childhood, though. They go deep into that.
They get really sympathetic with her. Particularly, I believe there was like a Hey Arnold movie where she actually reveals her feelings for Arnold and kisses him, and he rejects her.
It actually
Damn.
kind of go with this is forget that ever happened. Like, okay, fine. Status quo is God after all. But there was a Pataki show in development, and I think it was canceled because it was way too dark.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Anyway,
So they wanted to show why she was so fucked up, and they're like, "No."
But it was going to follow her during her teenage years. But it was way too dark, apparently, so they didn't. Go through with it.
I see.
But that never actually materialized. During its life, the show focused on less fantastical plots involving very grounded characters with very realistic problems like unemployment, alcoholism, obesity, creepy relatives, cosplaying grandmas, monkey vigilantes, and a flying pigeon man. Okay, fine. The show occasionally featured bizarre characters.
Still think that's a metaphor about
But
suicide.
I think that's only partially what the show was
With the pigeon man, it was supposed to be. He was supposed to commit suicide at the end of that episode, but
I think it's a metaphor.
They thought it was too dark, so they didn't. They have him fly away with all his pigeons and stuff in a very silly manner. But yeah, I think.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure the show, like, isn't that a bit of an outlier for how grounded the show was? You don't really see people doing things like that in that show.
Yeah, so that's why I think
That's why I think it's kind of a metaphor.
It's from Arnold's perspective, so it's from a kid's perspective. So he might have just said, the final words he said to him. Said to Arnold was probably like a note he read or something, and then Pigeon Man actually did commit suicide because that's what they were actually going to do. They were going to have Pigeon Man commit suicide at the end of that episode, but that
Nickelodeon said nope.
Yeah, they said nope. No, you can't do that. You can't have literal suicide on a kid's show.
Well, to be honest, I actually like it better that they didn't show it, and instead it's a metaphor, assuming it is.
Yeah, I think it works out way better. I think
it does work out better. I think that's something where censorship accidentally improved something.
Because it made it.
I actually hate censorship.
You can actually teach things or show things in a more accessible way.
Well, the editor should have caught that.
Yeah. Anyway.
It was also about Arnold giving loners and weirdos a chance.
That Stoop Kid?
Many episodes featured mistreated characters due to
Why do I remember Stoop Kid so well? I don't know why.
Stoop Kid's afraid to leave the stoop. Stoop Kid's afraid to leave the stoop. Yeah, it was. Everyone made fun of him. He was a bully. Everyone was afraid of him. And then some guy figured out that he wasn't going to leave his stoop. So they just started making fun of him and throwing things at him.
They're like, wait, all we have to do is not walk past him.
Yeah,
and then he can't bully us anymore, and then they start bullying him.
Pretty much, just laugh at him because he won't leave.
I don't know why. I don't know why that episode was so impressionable to me.
Let's see here. DJ and Voices, which is 10. Appreciate that. Best Harold moment. Oscar sees Mr. Wynn helping Arnold rehearse for the play. Wynn yells, "I'm Juliet." Oscar says, "No, you're a sad man to win the dress."
I remember Oscar. He was so funny. Please make me a sandwich. Please make me a sandwich.
He's always fighting with his wife, who has no reason at all to stay with Mr. Kakashi. There's no reason to anyone should stay with him. And she actually
she was a bitch. She was throwing ceramics at him and everything.
Mr. Kakashi is a deadbeat. He kind of deserves it a little bit. I remember there's an episode they tried to get a job, and he's like, "So let me get this straight. You're 36 years old. You never had a job, and you want to work as a manager or something?"
One episode that was really good was Arnold trying to help him become more competent, and he was like trying to reconnect with his wife.
Yeah, but he was so lazy that even Arnold kind of gave up on him after a while.
Yeah, but I think he ended up redeeming himself at the very end just a little bit. I don't remember how, but I think he was like having dinner with her or something, and she like gives up on him, and then he does something. I don't remember quite what it was though. I do need to rewatch this show.
He does something to pull it off, but he's a terrible person. Like Mr. Kakashi is an awful human being. He's basically an SJW before SJWs came out. He's lazy.
Really?
He's not. He doesn't get offended over everything. He
lazy and entitled.
Yeah, lazy and entitled. That's basically.
So he's like a male feminist.
Pretty much.
He kind of looks like a soy boy. Now that I think about it, he's got like the soft aftershave.
He's very entitled. He doesn't want to. He wants to just lay around all day and have everyone else do things for him.
Please make me a sandwich.
Yeah, it's like I can't make a sandwich on my own. And his wife is the only one that works. She does all the housework. He does nothing all day but watch TV or something.
Okay, yeah, now I don't blame her.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's an awful human being. I have no idea what you say with him, but
I just remember the running gag of her like throwing dishes at him and shit, and he's dodging it. Arnold, help me!
And then I remember there's one part where they're having breakfast, and then like Grandpa doesn't want to finish his breakfast, and Kakashka immediately jumps in and says, "I take them, Grandpa." And he's like, "You keep your hands away from my breakfast, Kakashka."
Maybe he's a tripod.
I wouldn't blame him. Probably would. I would be. Ruckin say no. Thanks for $9.99. People who lived in NYC, New York City, tell me how real it felt. Yeah, because I think they actually lived in New York City, the creators or something, and they actually try to put real because Hey Arnold's would be a.
That's the backdrop.
I can actually ruin. I can ruin the Hey Arnold's. I can ruin Arnold's grandfather's design for everyone.
Oh, you mean the balls and the dick on top of his head?
Yeah. You've seen that picture where they?
Oh yeah.
You never see him the same after that.
I kind of want to see it now.
Very grounded show. It's a very grounded show. Mostly until we got to like maybe the movie where like there's spies and stuff. It got kind of crazy, but for the most part, the show as a whole is very grounded.
Of their appearance or actions. Arnold was always the first to try to understand those characters and help them, even if it doesn't always lead anywhere. In fact, I would compare Arnold to Charlie Brown from Peanuts by Charles Schulz. I mean, Charlie can never hit a football but continues to play. He can never fly a kite but never gives up. Arnold also fails time and time again, but still learns a valuable lesson and perseveres.
It'll be a Charlie Brown for the 90s. It'll be, an ensemble cast of kids,
He's
eccentric,
also
funny kids.
He also
Arnold will be
has
the
a very indifferent set of emotes, kind of like Charlie Brown did.
Yeah, he kind of does. He's very mellow most of the time.
Yeah.
It's very he doesn't really get over emotional very often. He does sometimes, but not very often.
Yeah, it's usually during a climax.
Let's see. Alex Halo, thank you much for the 5. Meanwhile, the kids anime Squid Girl showed a lot of stuff that would make Nick freak out over.
Squid Girl.
It's a kids anime.
Okay.
Interesting. I know you mentioned that before.
Chowder was based on New York. I didn't know that.
I knew that either. It didn't look like New York.
No, it didn't. It did not look like New York.
I've never been. Always wanted to go, but not these days.
Yeah, maybe not these days. You probably get arrested for saying a bad word
or walking by.
You're being charged of violation of the Universal Statute or something like that.
Walking while white.
Charlie Brown, but he'll
I'm not white.
Super calm center. He's not the loser that Charlie Brown is. He's like just this like Zen little Buddha.
Although Arnold succeeds in his quest more often than not, his victories often don't make much of an impact. Like when Arnold tried to help Chocolate Boy get rid of his addiction to chocolate, only for him to gain addiction to radishes. whole time
remember
Arnold
that.
tried to convince Pigeon Man, a man
They tackled addiction, but instead of being addicted to drugs, he was addicted to chocolate.
Yep.
But he switched from chocolate to radishes, so I don't know how.
Hold on, I want to see this. I want to see this.
and who lives exclusively in isolation surrounded by his pigeons, that humans could be trusted only to witness the destruction of his home by the hands of Arnold's bullies, causing the Pigeon Man to utter possibly the saddest lines ever said on Hey Arnold.
Of course they'll come back. They're birds. I trust them. I understand them. It's people I don't understand.
But despite that, he acknowledges Arnold as a trustworthy
Because what
person.
happens was that he doesn't trust anybody. So he trusted Arnold for a little bit, and then the kids, the other boys from school, were like, "Hey, there's a bird man or whatever, the pigeon man," and they came up and they destroyed his entire house or his little setup on the roof. So they chased off all of his birds and they destroyed everything. And so Arnold's like, "I'm so sorry this happened to you," and he's like, "The birds will come back. I trust them. It's people who don't trust." And then after that, he will commit suicide, quote unquote. Let's see, John Lemley, 250.
But then it's Arnold's fault that he kills himself then.
More or less. So that's why Arnold is so apologetic.
Well, hold on. Let's watch this.
See, John Lemley, 250. His emotion is usually during a climax.
Would you shut up? I knew someone was going to give me shit for that. Can we just move on? I knew someone was going to give me shit for that.
It's the internet. Get used to it.
XRH Lobo says he got addicted to chocolate too. Yeah.
Pigeon Man is then flown by dozens of pigeons toward the sun. Now, some theorize that this episode's ending was an allegory for suicide, and thus giving birth to a rumor claiming that this episode's original script actually had him commit suicide by jumping off the building.
That's what I heard.
But Nickelodeon executives rejected this ending due
Yeah.
to its morbidity and depressing themes.
You know what
So
would have
instead,
made?
they
You know what would have
revised it to
served?
Arnold
This is what I think. I think the metaphor would have served better. I think a better execution of the metaphor would be they will always come back. I trust them. And then he jumps off the building, and then you see the art style change a little bit with the light from the sun around it, and you see him flying with the birds. Like, so it's like, oh, the birds came back and saved him if you're a kid, but if you're an adult, you're like, oh, he's an angel now. He just killed himself.
Yeah.
That's how I would have done it.
Yeah, so I think it did turn out better this way than him actually committing suicide. I mean, it would have.
I agree.
It would have fit the Hey Arnold's kind of aesthetic, but I think it worked out better this way, especially because it's coming from Hey Arnold's perspective, more or less.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that the theory persists is just an example of that. That's how it resonates to most of the audience.
Because it was a very impressionable show.
And it's a very sad moment too. He's not doing it when he's just had a victory. He's doing it when he's just basically lost everything he had that he cared about. Physically, in the physical sense.
Yeah. I mean, for the last time he got his trust broken. One time he reached out to someone like Arnold, and even though Arnold was innocent, his distrust with humanity still remained, and I guess he just couldn't take it anymore. So he flew off.
Dr. Crow, shit, we're talking about Birdman. I love this episode. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, it's a great episode. It's one of the best episodes in Hey Arnold's run.
Blocking the suicide out of his mind by imagining Vincent flying off into the sun. And here is what the creator himself had to say about that.
None of that happened. I mean, we never thought that he committed suicide. What happened was Harold and Stinky and Sid, or Joey actually, came up there and tore down his stuff. He was really disappointed and wanted to leave this town because he was just so sick of, stuff like that happening. And he hooks up all of his pigeons and flies away. Arnold says, "Where are you going?" He says, "I'm going to go to another place where I can help pigeons."
The show was also notable for being one of the first modern animated series to use child or teenage voice actors for most child characters in order to add a more authentic childhood vibe for the series. The actors also recorded their lines all together in the same room, which was another uncommon practice for the animated series. Moreover, characters such as Arnold and Eugene were played by multiple actors throughout the series due to their previous voice actors going through vocal changes. Now, on the other hand, it worked out fantastic for Rhonda and Helga, who maintained the same voice talents for the duration of the series, and as their voices
Wasn't Rhonda the
became
one that would
deeper
always
as
put the
series
quotes
progressed,
around when she said something?
I don't know.
She would use her fingers to make parenthesis marks.
I think so. I think Rhonda was the rich girl. But
Quotation marks.
I think she was a rich girl. She came from like a wealthy family. And she was very stuck up.
I used to mimic her sometimes when I was a kid. I would like put parentheses around certain words.
Rhonda, if the rich girl, I think her name is Rhonda, but she was very peculiar because she was supposed to be rich, like legitimately wealthy, and she went to public school, PS 118, with everyone else for some reason. Also, she was usually very stuck up and kind of elitist.
I think it was to show how she didn't fit in for that reason.
Yeah. But she was very peculiar, and she was very.
I think the show was kind of about that. A lot of characters just not fitting in, just a bunch of misfits.
Yeah. And thing is, she was very peculiar and fleshed out also because she was a rich girl, but she liked playing football, which is really weird. They don't. It's not a show about that. It's not even. You might even miss it because she's just in there. But when the gang plays football in the mud, she's playing football, which is not something you would aspire. That's not something you would attach to Rhonda's usual character. Or the rich girl's usual character.
Well, maybe it was. You think it was an excuse to tackle Arnold?
It could have been. It's very strange. It's kind of an inconsistency with a character, but it fits that it would be because they could go back to it. I think later on, like okay, so Rhonda she likes playing football for some reason.
Wasn't there an episode where like I think that they were making fun of each other during a stand-up, and then like Rhonda took it really personally when everybody made fun of her.
I think so.
And then they ended up making fun of everybody, and they kind of got over it.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Well, if she played football, even if
I guess you
Arnold
could say it
wasn't
was.
there.
I guess you could say it was really similar to the Squirrel Jokes episode in SpongeBob.
Oh yeah. Squirrel jokes.
Like they dwelled on one joke. Go for it, Sketch.
I was gonna say that if she played football when Arnold wasn't there, then I'd say, well, it's just her thing. If you always see her when he's there, then I'd be like kind of suspicious because they go like so deep into the character. If it was some other show, I'd probably like, whatever. But because these guys seem to be all about growing the character arcs and developing them, they're not really like going for a goal. They're just following these characters along. I think, it could have been that she just wanted to tackle him. I don't know. The people who watched, they would know better.
Rhonda was a different. Helga's the one that's in love with Arnold.
It's not this one.
No, this is Helga.
You're getting mixed up between the two.
But Rhonda was usually very stuck up. She's very very elitist, and
okay.
She thought Arnold was cool because like of his hat and the fact that he wore two shirts. But she was like the mean girl. She took the mean girl role, and it was very weird.
She admired his fashion sense despite his low status.
But
this isn't the one that confessed in the movie. It's the other one.
No,
that was Helga.
Red shirt and black hair. Anyway,
it gave the illusion of them maturing. Now, what also made Hey Arnold stand out was its rich urban setting. Neighbors of varying ages, races, nationalities, and income levels inhabit Hillwood City, a fictional amalgam of Portland.
What? I thought that the cartoons didn't start being diverse until recently, when all the woke people started making it diverse. I thought it was just all white people 100% of the time for every single show.
People would hate Hey Arnold because it only has one or two black guys in it, and only one of them's important. They get all mad now. They'd be like, "No, we want everyone to act the same and have one of them be a black guy, and then have it be stereotypical." You know how it is. You know how it is.
You mean to tell me that the whole diversity thing actually existed before the people got woke? Don't tell them that; they'll be very disappointed.
Yeah.
Let's see, Rocket Tail,
I kind of need to believe that.
A Monkey Man episode was an homage to Brave New World. I don't remember the Monkey Man episode. It's not coming back to me, at least right away.
I've seen the Monkey Man episode, I think, because it sounds familiar. Wasn't there like a guy on a rooftop or something?
I thought that was Pigeon Man.
Yeah,
he was on a rooftop.
There was another one that was like that. I think he showed it for a brief second. You saw Monkey Man on a rooftop, and it looked familiar to me.
Seattle and Brooklyn. Now, the show takes place in the 1990s, yet it includes various technologies and vehicles from different eras, including Arnold's awesome-tacular bedroom, which also gives visual diversity to the neighborhood. The city feels vibrant and romantic, with themes of ethnic heritage, urban decline and revival, all while accompanied by Jim Lang's acid jazz.
Arnold is going to be jazzy, but it won't be Vince Guaraldi jazz, which was piano, bass, drums. And let's come up with a new jazz sound, and he had me listen to a lot of acid
I like
jazz,
this music
which
because
was,
it makes me think of a
traditional
moving
jazz
city.
instrument.
Yeah, it does. It really does. It
Makes you think of people walking down the street, which really suits the show's aesthetic.
It sounds like a city, yeah, a live city, like a very live city, isn't it? And it's very peppy. So it's
Yeah,
more
yeah, like walking
positive.
past Stoop Kid and then going to hang out with the black black kid playing his harmonica at the train station.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Can you share my screen when you get a chance?
Sure. Let's see here.
Is this the guy you're looking for? Oh, wait a minute. Is that the wrong screen?
The Infinity.
Hold on,
I'm
let me
sorry.
get up there.
I shared the wrong
Monkey,
screen.
There's Monkey Man. Yeah, okay.
That's the guy, right?
I remember now. Okay, yeah, that's Monkey Man. That's Monkey Man.
Let me get up there. Hold on, I'm downstairs.
I think he wanted to
I love the mobility of these headphones.
I think he wanted to be a superhero, but he was kind of a loser.
All right, I'm on my way. I'm coming. Okay, let's see. Let me see. Yeah, that's Monkey Man. That's Monkey Man. That's him.
All right. You can take it off now.
All right, there we go. There we go. And back to Hey Arnold.
Did you
like
really need to
Saxon
say that
stuff
word?
over
Colonel Andrew?
manufactured.
Diversity. Well, I mean, to be honest, this is actual diversity. What people want now isn't diversity.
No, it's segregation and the state
Yeah.
controlling.
It said visual diversity. So instead of having like everything be like a red brick building, it's all the buildings are colorful.
Yeah, he's using the literal term out of the dictionary. He's not using the cultural misappropriated term that we use today.
Pretty much.
It's organic.
Hip hop beats. And so that was it. We had a really more gritty, more grungy, funkier sound than Charlie Brown, and we had the urban setting.
Now let's talk about the show's central theme.
It seems like they were
Family.
going for a more
I gotta
modern
point-
Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
that's what they were
modern
trying to
Charlie
do.
Brown.
It seems to me, because that's the
Something in the
second
city.
time they've said that.
Like something in the city, something that's more up to date. And it was up to date for its time.
Out that the series definition goes beyond who you are biologically related to. Family is simply people you care for and love. Arnold lives with his grandparents, but he also frequently interacts with his wacky residents, who he cares for as deeply as a real family. And even though Arnold's parents are missing, they are still a major part of his family. He keeps them close by always wearing the blue hat that his father gave him as a baby. And this symbolizes that no matter where your family is, they are still a part of you. This theme is also explored in the more traditional families like Johansson's. When Gerald moves to the Sunset Arms boarding house in order to be rid of his annoying family,
Wait a
when
minute.
Gerald moves out, he
What happened?
This guy is walking around with a baby hat?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It's
Holy
very small.
shit. I thought it was just like a, okay,
That's-
never mind.
It's a baby hat. So it's why it's so small compared to the rest of his head. I mean, his head's a football shape, but I mean, it's really small.
Yeah, I thought that was it. I was like, well, he has a weird head, and that's, I guess those are his, his temples growing along the side of this kind of almost flat surface. So, but whatever. I had no idea. This show is new to me, as you guys see.
It's a special hat to him. That's basically it. So it's a little hat.
I wonder if Hey Arnold's head inspired the shape of Stewie Griffin's head. But then
Yeah,
again,
Stewie.
well, wait, because wasn't Family Guy the '90s?
I think it was.
Well,
2000.
Seth was. The creators were. The creators were. Seth was mentioned here. Seth is one of the big guys in Family Guy, right? No, he was mentioned in the last video.
He was mentioned Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see, Hey
yeah.
Arnold started in 1996. Wow, that's the year I came around. And let's see.
But what I'm saying is that they would be creating around this.
Oh yeah,
era.
this was 3 years before Family Guy.
Yeah. But
It's
Seth
good to
has
have.
been around for a while. He
Hey, it actually aired on July 10th, which is today.
Oh, how convenient! How convenient.
anniversary.
Fantastic. Well, let's see what else they have to say.
realizes just how much he really loves all of them, despite just how much they peeve him. He tries to hide this from his family when they come to visit, but he eventually breaks down, runs back home, and asks to stay. And fortunately, his family welcomes him back with loving, open arms. Even Helga's seemingly dysfunctional family, to whom she often refers to by their first names since she does not deem them worthy of being called mom and dad, still cares deeply for her even when it might not seem like it.
Yeah, they're terrible. In fact, her mother is implied to be a drunk. She's always making
Mm.
Bloody Marys because she's always with the, she's always like she always acts drunk and she's always like this at the blender, putting in vegetables and so you kind of put two together. They don't outright make her a drunk. That would be like the SJW tactics. Let's just make her a drunk and everything. No, this is when people had like finesse and class, where they could probably tell you through context clues what's going on.
Yeah.
Also, Big Bob Pataki, very very standoffish guy, not very emotional, just very self-centered. And they're always in love with her sister Olga, who's like this virtuoso. She's basically like a modern Mozart.
In Arnold's Thanksgiving, Helga gets fed up with her alcoholic mom constantly ignoring her, and her dad frequently confusing her with her sister Olga, so she runs away and wanders about the city. She eventually has a heart-to-heart with Arnold and returns home to her parents and sister in sheer panic over her disappearance. Seeing this, she realizes that even though they may not always show it, they do really love her and would do anything to ensure her safety. I mean, Bob and Helga occasionally bond over their joy for wrestling or ridiculing melodramatic theater. And in The Beeper Queen, Miriam packs Helga an exceptional lunch, shares stories, and even helps her with her homework.
I think I remember the theater one where I think Bob thought Helga liked that stuff, and then she thought he liked that stuff for some reason or something like that. And then he's like, "Okay, I'll take you over there. Just be a nice father," because he wanted to do something nice for her for once. And then they both start making fun of it, and they bond over that. It's like, this is awful. You're right. It
Kind
is
of a
awful.
shame we didn't get that Helga show because I think that would have been good for girls.
I think so. It would have been very interesting, regardless. Do you reconcile this with 99? Arnold once fought the British in Central Park. He did. He did fight the British in Central Park. He did. I think it was like a reenactment. I think if I remember correctly. And there was like I think the bad guy was voiced by Tim Curry or something. Oh no, I think it was Tony Jay. Tony Jay. If you remember Tony Jay, the guy who also voiced Judge Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's used to be very good. He also voiced the bad guy from Reboot. Megabyte. Yeah, Megabyte. I think it was Tony Jay who voiced the British guy when Arnold faced off with the British in Central Park. That's great.
To no surprise, there are
Hunchback
many
of Notre
friendships
Dame,
explored
you know,
throughout
back
the
when Disney knew how to be beautiful.
Back when Disney knew how to write a movie, still.
Yeah.
Now they forgot. Now they have to take off.
Their movies used to
Then
be
they
so
gave up.
beautiful.
And then they gave up. Now they have to acquire other franchises and then ruin them because they can't write a movie anymore.
Yeah.
series. However, it's primarily focused on Gerald and Arnold, one of Nickelodeon's greatest bromances. They were best friends since preschool, had a super awesome thumb handshake, and shared a love for music and all things funky. However, their biggest test of friendship comes in Part-Time Friends, in which they both work together in Miss Vitello's flower shop. Arnold is excellent with flower arrangements, and Gerald is great with money handling and the business end of things. When Miss Vitello injures her back, she gives Gerald the responsibility of keeping the business running. This leads to an abuse of power by Gerald and pangs of jealousy within Arnold. The two end up having a huge argument, leading to several days of silent treatment between the two. But eventually, the two conclude that it would be petty for them to end their friendship over jealousy. Similarly, Helga and Phoebe experience their own test of friendship.
Real quick,
in
so I
Phoebe
don't interrupt
Skips.
the. I don't want to interrupt the Phoebe Skips episode. Funny how he brings up how with Gerald how he happens to be good with his money, because when I was a kid, Gerald was actually my favorite character, and I've been told I'm pretty good at handling money. So I think that's just kind of funny.
Yeah, it might connect with the personality somehow.
Was that
Maybe.
Helga the one that had a crush on him?
Yeah, Helga. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
But that's the thing, like black kid that's good at handling his money. It didn't feel contrived. It was just part of the story. He was a smart kid.
Like Gerald was not a black kid. He was just a character who happened.
Yeah, they didn't make him a fucking stereotype like they do nowadays, where it's just a bunch of stereotypical black people running around in the show and one white kid.
And you know, I think it was implied that this teacher might have been gay. I don't know if it was a rumor or not, but I think they kind of implied it almost. So there was that too. So now I know Helga's mother is probably, I think she's confirmed, a drunkard. I don't know if this guy is gay or not. I forgot whether it was a fan theory or an actual thing. DJ and Voices.
This is the type of show I don't think they make things actual unless it's useful.
Yeah. Did you voice this? I remember it was a good episode when Olga admits that she hates how their parents put her on a pedestal and envied Helga for being ignored. Yeah, that was a good one. Where Helga had it out with her sister and they tried to hurt her and everything, and then they got the heart to heart at the end, and Olga is she's always under pressure to perform at peak proficiency, and to do well on this and do well on that, get perfect scores everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's why she's so good at everything, because she wants to live up to her parents' expectations. So she envies Helga for being ignored because she doesn't have those expectations to live up to.
Mm.
She can basically do whatever she wants, while Olga is forced into a life she doesn't really want to live.
It's like one of them tiger moms.
Pretty much.
Okay.
One thing is, like, if you were to take that episode where Arnold and Gerald were fighting, I think a woke version, like the modern version, they would have made it woke. It would have been a role reversal where they make Arnold the one that's handling the business, and then they make him all oppressive to try and point to racism.
Yeah.
And then the way that they would resolve it is that Arnold would just stop being racist.
Yeah,
and it would have nothing to do with bonding or friendship. It would just be a statement about racism.
It's all about racism and repression and stuff. That's basically, yeah, you're right. That's all it would be about. This go from humanity.
They would completely miss the point, and it wouldn't even be about the two having dispositions. It would just be, nope, the white kid is wrong. Just like in real life, all the white kids always wrong. That's what they would do.
They know how to do oppression and stuff. They don't really know how to human very well.
What? I'm not oppressing anyone. You're oppressing yourself.
I've been in to ask you, where's that from?
Legend of Korra.
Legend of Kill Me. From Legend of Kill Me.
Legend of the show that doesn't exist because we choose to ignore it as a
You don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
It's not that great. John Lemley, English 5. This teacher looks like a younger, not racist Mr. Garrison. he kind of does, doesn't he?
Suck my balls, Mr. Garrison.
And not racist Mr. Garrison. And Mr. Garrison.
I loved his plan for running the country. He was just gonna fuck everything. He's gonna fuck him.
Is he Rock and Sales for $1.99? They made a show called Blackish and call it woke. Yeah, I saw that one. I saw that. I didn't see the show, but
I've heard there was this one show. There was this one show, and I don't know how true this is because I haven't watched it myself, just because of the title. There was a show called Dear White People. And a lot of people commented on it being a very racist show, but a friend of mine watched it and he said that it was only the commercials that made it look that way and the name that makes it look that way. But he said the show itself didn't really feel that way. Or I think he said he watched a review of someone that said that.
Well, it's their fault for making it that way, so I'm still not going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you put that shit into your trailers and into your advertisements and you call it something like that, do you really... If it sounds like books have a cover for a reason to tell you what's inside, and if it's saying, what's inside is really shit, you're not going to go look at it.
Yeah, good point.
I saw the name, the title Blackish, and like, oh, this is another motherfucker trying to use my fucking race to manipulate me.
Exactly. Enough of that. Thank you.
Yeah, God forbid we had a show called Whitish, right?
Yeah.
Is there a show called Whitish? I didn't see that one either.
No, it doesn't.
That would never be approved.
If it did, it would result in castration.
Everyone involved be canceled immediately.
No, it would be about how biracial should also hate whites.
Yeah, probably.
White-ish.
If it got approved, that's what we'd be about. Yeah.
When Phoebe is offered to skip the 6th grade, Helga gets scared that she won't be able to find a new best friend. So, Helga warns her that the 6th graders will probably pick her on, as Helga tends to put it. Her warning not only unsuccessfully stops Phoebe from skipping grades, but she also fails to find a new friend to replace her. Now, Phoebe, on the other hand, is taken advantage of by the 6th grade girls and ends up emotionally hurt. But in the end, the two have an emotional heart-to-heart in the girls' bathroom after a tearful Phoebe overhears Helga's monologue, expressing her regret for not supporting her best friend. Throughout this conversation, Helga finally admits that Phoebe is her best friend, and Phoebe admits the same. It's actually one of my all-time favorite scenes of the show. Hey Arnold even has plenty of people that make great sacrifices for the people they love. Like Helga, who frequently goes against her parents' wishes or sacrifices what she wants to help Arnold. Just like how she helped to save the neighborhood, even though it meant sacrificing a massive amount of wealth for her family and her father's success. Or giving up the one thing she wanted for Christmas in order to give Arnold a Christmas miracle. But a heartbreaking example of sacrifice comes in the episode Arnold's Christmas, when Arnold is assigned
Oh,
to
this
be
is a good
Mr.
one.
Wynn's Secret Santa.
This is,
The problem.
I've talked about this one before. It's one of the best episodes.
Don't tell me nothing. I just want to watch it. Don't tell me.
It's fantastic. So check this out.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Let's go.
Let me see here. John Lemley, number 5. Dear White People exists, and it's not racist, but it's just horrible and has cringy, dated, current, and woke faces. So,
Okay.
I'm definitely not watching it. Then I don't care. I don't want that stuff anywhere near me. Okay.
Oh yeah, I agree. No, I agree. It's still bullshit, but you know.
Okay, I have other things to watch other than things that throw weird, cringy stuff at me.
Yeah.
Rock Continuo for $1.99. There was a show called Breeders and about straights. That's really strange. I've heard that the term breeders is actually a
It wasn't a
slur.
show. It was a movie.
Yes.
It was a movie. It was like this thing I was forced to watch in school. It was very cringy.
I heard breeders is actually a slur against straight people. Like, so it's basically like calling a movie like the F word or the N word or something. That's it.
Well, sort of, but it's parcel of the the whole purpose. They hate the patriarchy, they hate the nuclear family because they hate inheritance rights. In order to redistribute, you need to end inheritance rights.
But sure, they wouldn't hate inheritance if they got inheritance.
Like it was
they
an
just wanna steal
extremely
it.
embellished interpretation of how straight people apparently treat gay people in school. And it was, but it was a role reversal where being straight was considered weird, and they were called breeders, which was considered a derogatory term in the film. It was really stupid. It was extremely embellished. Like you see all the normal gay people beating the crap out of the straight. It was so stupid.
You mean straight people being demonized for being straight? Huh? That's a weird hypothetical world.
Yeah,
John
it
Lemley-
reminds me of that new movie, where it's like slaves where it's like this what if movie about what if slavery was the other way around, and the
Yeah.
movie's slogan is it was something like now you get to watch us rape your daughters or something. Very
I
bizarre
get
and
it.
disturbing.
That's the best slogan, I think. I think if someone made that in earnest, it'd be like, okay, so we're going to teach you what it would be like if it was the other way around. Now, that seems like it's just made for revenge. So it's not going to be
Yeah.
teaching lessons here. It's just here's where we're revenging.
No, it's a fan fiction. It's a fan fiction about history where black people rape white people's daughters.
pretty much because they want vengeance. They don't want to teach.
I've heard something similar. A British TV show that did a very similar thing. It was based off a novel.
Didn't they do that in Hamilton? Isn't that what Hamilton is about?
Is it? thought
I
Hamilton
think
was
so. I was hearing them talk about it. I didn't see it. I think it's on Netflix now or whatever. But they said that the people in the Congress, like there was like maybe a couple of white people in there, but like a lot of these people that are historically white, they made them like lots of colors. And I'm like, okay, if you want to do that, fine. But I'm looking at where it's coming from and I'm seeing a pattern. Like I understand the off chance of X and Y happening. So this guy, they changed. Okay, but when it's coming from a person who also says they hate all white people and they hate all one-sided, like, no, okay, so this is something you're doing to get a message across. You're trying to like propagandize. Because like people think like, oh, you're just a racist. No. We're not anti-women or anti-what or anti-black.
We're just not going to let you kill us.
You guys are anti-white. You guys are anti-straight. We're not anti-anything. You're just demonizing us because we're not anti-white and anti-straight.
Pretty much. And I didn't know anything about Hamilton though. I thought it was just like a musical about Hamilton.
No, I'm just learning this. Cecil was talking about it in one of the shows. I think it was yesterday on the Jack Show. They were talking about it. It's like, yeah, but they switched races on everyone, right? And I'm like, okay, I guess. I don't know. I might check it out. I don't want to. I'll probably thumb down it because I hate Lin-Manuel.
To me, that kind of made sense because it was a stage play, and you can't really.
In stage
play.
In stage, it's like kind of have a bit more.
You kind of have to take what you get.
It's kind of. That's like Macbeth. I think people don't really care as much about the race of Macbeth.
Yeah, we just need to get people.
Exactly.
You got to get people who can do the job to be on, because it's a big job being on the stage and being able to do things pretty much on take number one. So yeah, if it's a musical play, because it's a musical play and it's on stage and everything, to me it would make sense why they would get anyone they could who could actually do the part.
Also, I remember this something just to top of my head is that on stage. Everything is in place of something. You have a level of like I don't know, like
Your disbelief is pretty high.
Yeah, the disbelief. So like you can see that this person is walking upstairs, despite but you're supposed to believe they're walking up clouds. That's something. It's because it's obviously staged. But when it comes to film, you have to do much more to make the audience believe what is happening.
What they explained to me was something that's obvious. Okay, sometimes you're like, oh, this is what I found, and sometimes it's like, no, you're obviously putting people of color in the place of the founding fathers and white people as slaves. It's like that's kind of like how they put it to me. It's like this is not like, oh, this is who we found. It's like, no, you're just.
I can see it happening. Yeah,
I gotta check it out. I heard them talk about it, but I see it happen a lot, and I don't like it.
Check it out. Sketch report back. Okay.
Yeah, I will. No, I don't want to, but I guess I kind of have to. I'll go with pictures. I'll probably go with image it, figure it out.
John Lindley, thank you for 5.
Just a quick question. What is Hamilton? Because I don't know anything about
I just
American
thought it was a musical about Alexander Hamilton. That's what I thought it was.
I know it's a musical, but who the fuck is Hamilton?
He's one of the founding fathers.
Okay.
Yeah, he really liked central banks, and I think Aaron Burr should have won that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his legendary duel with Aaron. Oh, it's fantastic. It's a whole other thing though. This John Lindley, thanks for the 5. I had to review it in film class at my art school. Yeah, that weird movie that they had going on there. Breeders, I think.
Yeah. I had to watch that for school. It was very cringe. I just couldn't help but laugh at the stupidity.
See, Rocket Sailors, $99. Disney wants to remove all of presidents for Hammy. What? Why? Hall of Presidents. Why? That's weird. That's strange. Remove Hall of Presidents. They just want to remove all the Hall of Presidents because I guess being a president of the United States is just inherently racist or something now.
This is so infuriating. Go ahead.
You just can't be proud of your country anymore. You just can't do it. If you're proud of your country, you're racist or something.
Well, it used to be driving while black. Now it's breathing while white.
Yeah, but the implications go far outside. What happens to Puerto Rico if America gives up on freedom? If they give up on these basic premises, like you're innocent until proven guilty, which we've already lost part of with these victimless crimes. If freedom of speech goes away, you think it's going to be better in other countries? You think it's going to rise again somewhere else?
No, I don't think so.
I don't fucking think so. You think property rights? You think if property rights become a joke, like these people want to make it, you think that's going to rise again somewhere else? These people are feudalists. They're feudalists.
They believe the only time they believe in innocent until proven guilty is if the defendant is a minority or a woman.
No,
then they suddenly believe in innocent until proven guilty.
No. They want to destroy the system. They know it's wrong. They know they're going against. They know it's not an unconscious thing that they've been fooled. I mean, maybe a few at the lower levels, but the people that are taking the big actions, the people that can make a whole platform biased so that people that are fooled stay fooled, those big people, they're trying to destroy the whole system. They're trying to grab in between corporation and government, which is what happened in Germany, and grab into the property rights of segments of the population. And once that happens, it's all downhill. There's no going back, baby. It's between state feudalism and monarchic feudalism. The monarchic feudalist has nobility to, signal their virtue. Now they have celebrity to signal their virtue. But the difference between state feudalism and monarchic feudalism is the same thing as a theocratic feudalism. You can call it socialism. It's the same thing. The state decides what you can have, what you can't have. They have a monopoly of force.
I don't want to throw the people that listen to the TV under the same umbrella as the people that design the stations.
Or the food.
I'm not going to throw them under the same umbrella.
You've ruined Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people that ruin Star Wars know what they're doing. I mean, the people that make these shows, they know what they're doing.
I don't think they know what they're doing at all. We're talking about J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson.
Oh, those guys, they don't know what they're doing.
The two worst people in creativity right now. Kathleen Kennedy's up there too.
Kennedy just doesn't care. She cares about her agenda and nothing else.
They know exactly what they're doing. They just don't know how to make movies. They know what they're doing.
There's a difference between malice and stupidity or ignorance.
You see the picture we're looking at right now? That's them looking at Star Wars.
Yes.
It's on fire. It's all on fire.
Whole thing's on fire. All of it's on fire.
That's what it is, man. They know what they're doing.
Anyway,
this is organic. This is real.
Anyway, back to Mr. Wynn. This is one of the best episodes of Hey Arnold, actually.
I don't think they came in as like, oh, and started rubbing their hands. Like, oh, I can't wait to deconstruct and destroy this fandom. Like Disney.
Yes.
I think Kathleen Kennedy did that, actually.
I don't believe that. They'll say, okay, well, we bought this thing for a lot of money, and our careers hinge very heavily on this thing.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not
let's
their
go
money,
destroy it, guys.
You think they care about money? You think she cares about
No,
money?
it wasn't their goal to destroy it, but they were
She
willing
would
to
die
ruin
rich.
it for the purpose of their agenda.
If the film,
Yeah, these people are millionaires already. You're not. The money is not the big thing for them.
No, but
You know how much power and money they already have. You
Money
think
is-
like, oh, losing the job, losing a little bit on small. You think they give a fuck?
No,
this
but
this person had like 200 million in the back when she took the job. You can't scare her with firing her.
money is very relative, and also as like say $1 million would be a
shiny
lot
finish.
to others. Yeah, $1 million would be a lot to us, but to Ryan Johnson, that's like, oh fuck, I can get another yacht, sweet. Oh, it's like, oh, I can buy another house, or I could buy a helicopter.
It's luxury, yeah. It's not. It's not important.
But we're talking about things which, hinge heavily, especially like people like Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson had done fuck all up to that point. So when it comes to J.J. Abrams, Ryan Johnson, and Kathleen Kennedy, the success of these films hinged very heavily for their careers.
Yes, but when you look at people that work in comics, or when you look at people like Brie Larson, they say, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. If you're white, don't watch my movie because it's not for you. Then when it comes out of their pocket, they do come crawling back. They do.
It's like they've realized that they don't care. It's like, oh, well, we're losing a couple of sexist fans. Oh, who cares? Because they completely misunderstand. And they put their politics first before, writing a good story.
But once it comes out of their pocket, that's when they start to come crawling back.
And then when the money runs dry and they need to buy another yacht, it's like, oh, fuck, we need to do something. Oh, god damn, no.
See, John Lindley says, I think we're 250. It's not about it's not about money. It's about sending a message.
That is exactly what it's like for them.
There's another thing. When these people take these contracts, when Ryan Johnson gets these contracts, he's getting, hey, you know what? You're going to get off the top 50 mil, let's say 50 mil, 100 mil, but you're going to do what I say and you're going to screw it up. You know what I'm saying? I got a message. I already got like 500 mil in my bank, so I don't give a fuck if I get fired. Right? Because the difference in the comic industry, the people that are director and the people that are producing, it's astronomical. These people, the kind of money that they have in the bank makes them, it's a conflict of interest because they don't need the job that bad. They don't really need it. They don't need it at all. And a lot of these directors, after they make that first deal, for good or bad, they're set for life. You can make one of these Disney movies, pretend you directed it, follow the fucking corporate script to the T, and still retire with many, many millions. What if Ryan didn't even write it? Maybe it's the corporation. They sat in the meeting, made the script, and he just, I did it.
Maybe he just went to guys on Fiverr or something. Hey, I need you to write the script for Star Wars. That'll be there. Okay, that'll be $50. Whole script. Oh, good. I get the rest.
Oh, you got to get someone that's hungry, man.
Anyway, speaking of hungry, here's Mr. Wynn, who came from Vietnam, who's very hungry when he left.
Yes, I bet.
This is the greatest episode of one of the greatest episodes in Hey Arnold's run. It's very, very good. It tackled something that's very, 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 very deep and adult, but they did it in a kid-friendly way.
The problem is that Mr. Wynn is mysteriously always lonely this time of year. Later in the episode, it is revealed that around Christmas time during the Vietnam War, he had to let go of his daughter so she could live a better life at the expense of never seeing her again. Through the sacrifices that various characters make on the show, we learn what it means to care for someone more than yourself. The reality painted by Hey Arnold is that life gets tough, things break down, and on some occasions, all on the same day. But we should always strive for positivity, and as Grandma put it,
gotta look up, you gotta be strong, you gotta take things as they come. Cause everything new that happens to you is better when you look up.
Just thinking back to
That's the beauty of Hey Arnold as a show. A lot of bad things happen, but at the very end of the episode, usually they get better. Old things go away, but new things come along that are just as good, or maybe sometimes even better. And we'll go over this next show next. It's going to be, I think, a favorite of several people. And
Samurai Jack. What's it gonna be?
It's called The Awkward Beauty of Invader Zim.
Let's do it.
All right, Invader Zim, one of the most nostalgic shows of the era,
and had the best intro. The best intro.
Best intro. Exactly, the best intro.
How about stolen organs? I've been working out.
Wasn't this the first episode?
I
don't think
it
so.
was Dark Harvest where it happened.
I don't know, but Dark Harvest is the one where he started to eat everyone's organs.
I've seen this episode more than any other episode. That's why, for some reason, I think it's the pilot.
I was rewatching Invader Zim, and I got to Dark Harvest, and it hit me. Somewhere in between Zim harvesting the organs of school children and this joke where an office worker's mouth literally becomes a dog food dispensary, I came to a kind of revelatory understanding. The gruesome, the grotesque, the sickening can be beautiful. Now, I understand there's an enormous sum of irony in that statement. I also understand that those words and beauty are usually mutually exclusive. But yet, as I sat there in complete awe of this children's show that somehow had the balls to literally turn itself into this horrifying spectacle of murder and body stuffing, I couldn't escape this feeling that what I was watching was art. Dark Harvest is the show at its absolute most chaotic, in my opinion, at its closest to its creator's vision. It's where I began to understand the grotesque beauty of Invader Zim.
You're full of organs, aren't you? Why, yes. Yes, I am. And you wouldn't notice if you were, say, missing.
Invader Zim was not really designed to be a kid show. In fact, it was designed as the polar opposite. This is Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. It's a limited series comic created by Joan Vasquez. It's a horror comic, very much aimed at about, well...
Yeah, he had this comic going on called Johnny's Homicidal Maniac. I haven't really read that much of it, but it's pretty interesting. And he's
Never heard of it.
Invader Zim, yeah. So he has the same style, but very grotesque. Very.
I used to like the. Actually, no. Let's not change the topic. Keep going.
It's very dark look on humanity. So, I chicken out.
Murder. It's also great. From its visuals to its sparse and engaging narrative, it also led to a spin-off book, a 4-issue series titled Squee, that followed the misadventures of a kid and just so happened to be as dark and excellent as Johnny. Well, a Nickelodeon exec took a liking to Squee and asked Vasquez, who had no animation experience at all, to come up with a new idea for a show. In 1 hour, while lying in bed, he conceptualized and created Invader Zim. And what Vasquez envisioned was, as he put it, not a show for kids, but a show for him. And he had to fight to make that show. And that show was...
Okay,
well,
Dad, we can go to Bloody's now.
No, we can't go anywhere with him like that. Family Night is cancelled until his organs are inside him again.
There is not another show. In
I
this
love the
era of
character design of her
television
dad.
allowed to-
Oh my god, I love him.
Yeah, he's a super scientist. And he's,
I actually really like this girl, this snarky purple-haired girl. 'Cause she would like bounce off of the antagonist that was always on to Zim.
Yeah, she's
like
his sister.
Like he kicks Zim or something. He's like, my squeedly smooch. He's like, squeedly smooch. Humans don't have squeedly smooches. She's
Yeah.
like, I have a squeedly smooch. So stupid.
turn a character inside out, have its intestines become its body, and be dragged like a dog on a leash across the screen. This is pure visual stimulation, but it's
so
precise.
awesome.
The sequence lasts just over 10 seconds. It doesn't overstimulate the viewer, it doesn't stick around to become sickening. It happens so fast that you genuinely wonder if you saw what you just saw. And the image, because of its split-second nature, becomes the moment you continue to fixate on. You focus on that moment almost to recall it. It impacts you like seeing a striking piece of modern art because it's elusive in a way that understanding art often is, but in this case, that elusiveness is literal. Like this scene, where his eyes are gouged out and new synthetic eyes are placed in their stead. It's disgusting, but you don't see it. You imagine it. You conjure it. It's what makes the way this scene is animated so beautiful. It's a horror you help to create. Vasquez would say in 2018 that the show was preoccupied with an obliviousness to horror that allows horror to be normal. to be its characters and world's status quo.
Could
This
you
allows the show to
imagine that
present its
scene?
disturbed moments.
Could you imagine that scene done in like the best type of CGI, real life? I'm not talking like a Final Fantasy or nothing. Like real life. Just grab a box, something, pulls your rights out and puts other ones in
It'd be
there.
horrifying.
Yes. Sweet Jesus.
But it's also very campy. Like just pops them in. Like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
very
absolutely
campy in
not.
that way.
And the I like the thing with the organs too. I thought that was pretty funny.
That was why it was acceptable to be Invader Zim, because it was a very campy show. They made it cartoony.
Yeah.
It was grotesque, but in a very humorous way.
He wanted to get organs because he thought that because he didn't have any human organs, that because of the physicals and everything, he wouldn't be able to pass as human, because that's what he wanted to do, is pass as human. So he started taking everyone's organs. So at the very end of the day, he had like all kinds of hearts and lungs and stuff.
This one's the most.
I wonder if it was a play on his insecurity because he wasn't accepted by his colleagues. Remember, all the other aliens made fun of him.
Yeah, they all hated him.
Wait a minute. There's more than one alien.
Yeah, there's a whole race of them.
Yeah.
And the hierarchy is based on how tall you are. So
Fuck.
The leaders are called the tallest, the mighty tallest.
What do you do
so they
if
used
you're
to all
short?
make
You
fun
just
of Zim. So I suspect
kill
that
him,
maybe
right?
this was a play on his insecurity.
It could be. But if you're short, you're kind of a second-class citizen. The shorter you are, the less respect you get.
Doesn't that mean that
It was
the
funny
short-
because it was almost like he was the helpless villain, but it made you root for him.
Yeah, that's kind of where they're going for, I think.
doesn't that make the short people want to kill the tall people?
No, not
Zim
no,
was the only really short one. Most of them were like average height.
They don't have SJWs over there.
I think Zim might have had like a deformity that made him unbelievably short in comparison.
There's other small.
But is he a bad guy or a good guy? I don't get it.
He's a villain.
He's a protagonist. He's there to take over Earth, so he's technically the villain. But he's
He was the villain protagonist, but he was a helpless villain because he had such his race had no respect for him.
And all of his ideas are really dumb.
and like he never really hurts humans in particular unless it's in a cartoony way. Like you saw him replace the kid's eyes. If he was like the other aliens, he probably wouldn't have replaced the eyes.
No, I would have just killed him.
Maybe.
I mean, if you
As moments instead of long, drug-out spectacles. It allows them to be a shadow or a 10-second fever dream because to their characters, to its world, this is ubiquity. This is their normal. Take Nick. Nick here was created.
Dead Slash, English 5. More organs means more human. That's it. I think this is what he said. So that's why he's like 5 or 6 hearts or something.
Okay.
Yeah, he had like 6 hearts.
And he replaced the organs with stuff. So there's one kid that had a radiator inside of him. He replaced probably like his liver with a radiator. And because the horror is so terrible in there, I think Invader Zim wanted to go to the bathroom. So the teacher, who's like a witch shadow creature thing, but she's human or whatever. But she's like, okay, go to the bathroom, and here's your bracelet. So if you leave school grounds, it'll explode and kill you.
Nick was very proud of this show, particularly this episode, believe it or not. It did not have any issues with censorship. Like, I don't know if you recall that one game where you get to make an avatar and run around Nickelodeon World. It was called Nicktropolis. And I played it a little while when I was younger, back when it probably doesn't even exist anymore. And it was in my character's like apartment, up on the television screen, I had that episode. They would let me play it on loop in the background of the character's apartment. So there wasn't an issue with censorship here, believe it or not.
Yeah. I mean, they got away with a lot of stuff on Invader Zim. A lot of stuff.
So it looks like he had to fight for it, but it looks like he certainly won.
Yeah, as a victory. Exposing the Whisper Network. And the thing about that episode was that collar that explodes if you leave school grounds. He stole some kid's organ and then replaced his organ with that collar. So that kid could never leave school grounds unless he wants to explode. Let's see, John Limley, thank you with 5. Best VFX ever in media is the eyes popping out on Friday 13th 3D. Hashtag prove me wrong.
Classic.
That was fantastic. Old stuff, great stuff. Alex Halo, number 2. I think I know where her organs are. Yeah, where are her organs? Zim has them. Zim has them.
I was actually thinking that it's like, oh, there's a joke we can play somewhere with that.
Where are organs? Zim stole them all.
It is a reference to the smiley, kid-centric network of Nickelodeon and the demands they made of the show's creators. This probe, shoved into his brain, is designed to force him into a constant state of happiness. He's in constant pain. It's terrifying, but to Zim, and to those that come in contact with Nick, it is what it is. Again, a world that normalizes terror, which in fact here is what makes the image of this kid in pain, being mentally decimated, so wonderfully horrifying. Zim just doesn't seem to care.
It's great! I never want to leave this magical place! I'm so happy!
But sometimes the visual horror is founded in sheer chaos. Take the episode Door to Door. These things being shoved into these kids' mouths are sausages that look like bugs. In fact, you can still see one of the bugs on the wall. That's because they were originally designed to be roaches, until Nickelodeon decided that was too disgusting and forced the change. In the very same episode, this elderly woman projectile vomits dust onto a beheaded Gur, and we're introduced to a race of doll-eating monstrosities. The key to all this absurdity is it lies in a simple, tropey, and often generic premise. Door-to-door sales. School fundraiser. Girl Scout cookies. The episode has little to no meaningful structure. It has next to no prevailing plot. It is pure anarchy. And Zim uses this anarchy and simplicity as a technique with which to deliver shocks. So often things dive into absurdity or fall into chaos so that you lose your previous understanding of where things are headed. So instead of being comfortable with what's happening, you're instead being exposed to a confusing discomfort, and unfamiliarity making the imagery all the more shocking. A good example of this is Lice. This episode's foundation is a simple premise that's been explored dozens and dozens of times in animation and television. There's a breakout of lice at school. And yet, instead of the episode following the traditional tropes, it turns into a story of monster-based villainy. And just when you think you know how it's going to end, you're greeted with this.
The world will never have to deal with the threat of lice ever again.
Yes, that is a lice-killing weapon that sheared Zim's skin right off his body. It's shocking, but it's so satisfying to not know it's coming, to not understand what's happening, to not expect this moment. Because you think you've seen this story before. You think you know how this episode is going to play out, the sitcom trope of a school breakout, but you're wrong. Or Career Day, an episode about, you guessed it, a school career day, an episode that somehow manages to escalate into this glorious Akira reference. You think you understand the show until the moment where you don't. Gross out humor or horror often falls flat in animation because it's either poorly set up or, better yet, it's made to be the substance of the piece or show, the only reason you're watching it. Zim knows that to succeed with shock is to make sure that you, the viewer, believe you're one step ahead, even when you aren't. Because that confidence makes you vulnerable.
I am Throbulator! I am a creature of pure headache! Yeah, my head!
But to create these horrors in this aesthetic, every second became a battle. Remember Nick, the walking Nickelodeon reference? He was created out of spite. Invader Zim was consistently hampered by Nickelodeon, the network. Characters weren't allowed to die according to the network, so episodes had to be rewritten, or things like this had to be defiantly placed at the end of an episode. Dib was actually meant to be killed off permanently in an episode and replaced with a new character, but the network wouldn't allow that to happen either, so the entire course of the show had to shift. But it even changed the visual nature of the show. Nick refused to allow blood splatter in multiple episodes, forcing the team to rethink certain sequences.
Looks like
And
I
even
was
certain
wrong. They
bits
did
of
have
violence,
issues with
like
censorship.
Yeah,
That's a shame.
Yeah, they did want people to actually die, but I think it made it funnier that people didn't die. That way you can like launch someone into space and it's floating there forever. It's more horrific in the end. And see,
I would love to see the what if show of what would have happened if Zim did die.
Like what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He tells the Demon Racing, which is the 10. From DJM Voices, that needs to be a meme. Anytime there's a panel saying, "Where are her organs?" Zim should just be next to it saying, "More organs means more human." That'd be great. Actually.
I like that. I like that. We should get that clip. Shiny, get that clip.
More
Why,
organs.
why do I have to get it? I'm working on something right now. You get it.
All right, I'll get it.
Keith gets chased by a squirrel and falls, but in the original version, he was supposed to fall off a building into an electrical line to be electrocuted. Nick, didn't like that. Nick wanted to rethink Dib's clothing because trench coats were too reminiscent of a recent and terrible event, so the team had to fight to save his aesthetic. They even had to fight to save the character when Nick wanted to cut him for not being funny or likable enough. Invader Zim wasn't happy. It wasn't about sunshine and rainbows, and every step of the way its creators fought to maintain their vision. Every boundary they got pushed back on, they pushed in a different, almost defiant way. The horror in Invader Zim, specifically the horror that is Nick, is a response to everyone that wanted Zim to be something it wasn't. And I think in an almost romantic way, Nick is the best example of Zim using its imagery to actually say something substantive, to show that horror can still send a message.
No! It's horrible! Oh, the carnage makes me so happy!
And yet, I think the case of Bloody Gore is the
That would
best
be hell for me.
encapsulation of the strange, defiant.
What would it be?
Having to be nice and happy when I don't wanna. Oh my fucking god! Just fucking shoot me.
No, I guess you know what he was going through. Yeah, you can't kill off people. You can't be all that mean. You can't do this and you can't do that.
Defiant anti-culture horror that is Invader Zim. An image of Bloody Gore was created and then forbidden to be aired by Nickelodeon. So, animators behind the network's back snuck the image into single frames across the last season, only able to be viewed by viewing the episodes frame by frame. It's Zim's last bit of anarchy, its last moment of opposition, the show's last attempt to maybe subliminally drill its way into your mind. Zim was more than its imagery. It was an excellent story, a sci-fi comedy that was vast in scope and even more interesting in nuance. It was great because it succeeded beyond its horror. It succeeded as...
I can tell you it's a lot funnier than Short Trek. A lot funnier. A lot funnier than Picard. I know that for sure.
As a narrative, as a character study. But Invader Zim also had awful ratings, was, as its creator put it, monstrously expensive, and then it was cancelled. And yet years later, its less than subtle horrors are still burned into my brain. Zim's horrifying beauty is to this day unrivaled in animation. There is art in horror, art in the grotesque, and art in its execution. It didn't care what the network wanted, it didn't care what its audience wanted. It was a show with a surprisingly unified vision. It managed to let the art, the grotesque, speak through all the censorship. All these years later, I think it's clear that Zim did succeed in taking over the Earth and commanding humanity. The world of the gross, of the scary, is Zim's world. And I'm just happy to keep living in it.
Yes, yes, Lord of Humans! I will rule you all!
Didn't they make a reboot of it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's called the Florpus Hole or something. It was okay. It kind of recaptured some of the magic, but not all of it. It was more like settled on random humor rather than the grotesque nature of Zim as it used to be. But it was okay. It's watchable. It didn't destroy. It wasn't like a Last Jedi that where it destroyed everything.
Mhm.
It was more or less faithful. I don't know why. What happened to Professor to the dad character? They made him like really really fat. I don't know why. He's not really fat, but wide. I don't know what happened to him because he's like tall and thin here. He's like lean here, but in the reboot he's like really stout. I don't know what happened. Yeah. So let's see. I think as unfortunately that's all the time we have for today. We are at the hour mark. So I mean we can do this again. We can easily do this again with Nostalgia TV. So much stuff to go over. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. So thank you everyone. Thank you, Best Chat. Thank you, Agent Yokai Zero. Thank you, Shiny, and thank you, Sketch Therapy.
My pleasure.
For joining me. And thank you, Best Chat. I hope you had a wonderful time. Wonderful time. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you all, of course,